Malzahn coached for 35 years, most notably running the show at Auburn from 2013 to 2020, where he was the offensive coordinator during their 2010 national title. It's 50 degrees at 2 o'clock. Time and Temp brought to you by Bueller Air & Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, Lauren Brooks, Taylor Dahl, and Tom McManus. This is
Helmets and Heels.
Helmets and Heels on 1010XL.
All right, did y'all stay warm over the weekend?
It was pretty cold, actually. It was windy on Friday or Saturday. Saturday. It was so windy on Saturday.
Yeah, it felt a little bit like Chicago, to be honest with you. It was chilling down to the bone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The ground was frozen on Saturday. I only know that because I had to pick up dog doo-doo at with my big boys. And I was like, dang, this stuff is like frozen. Unbelievable. But it was quite chilly. Still is a little bit. Not too
it's
bad,
warming up though for sure.
Yeah.
Like we said last week, now when it's like in the 40s, we think,
Like,
oh
this is
wow,
great.
and the sun's shining. This is like summer weather, shorts weather. Yeah, we woke up yesterday and did not have any running water. The pipes had frozen.
Yeah.
Which is to be expected when you don't leave the faucet running like you're supposed to.
Right, the drip.
The drip, yep.
Right.
So had the drip last night, water perfectly fine. But had the drip.
That drip's okay.
Brian used my blow dryer. He went outside to the pipe by the house and blow dried it for long enough that the water came on.
Wow, no kidding.
Yeah, so that does work, in case you're wondering.
Interesting.
Little life hack.
Yeah.
What do you call it for the sprinkler system? The little
Irrigation.
motor, that thing.
The pump.
Yeah, it went psh. So I had to shut it off. They replaced it today, though. But
I was just talking.
Florida's like, we don't know how to do this.
Yeah, we had floating trees.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking to Michelle, queen of the building, earlier today, and we were talking about irrigation. And I was like, this is when you know that the cold weather is truly affecting Floridians. It's two women who have never once spoken about irrigation. We're talking about that type of stuff.
I posted it on Twitter because the amount of texts that I had from like friends here that were like, it's so cold. It's so freaking cold. And I'm like, why is everyone texting me as if I like made it this cold? And I'm like, I know it's because I always talk about how much I love the winter and love the cold. So they're all like, this is what you want.
You brought us this winter. Yeah. I feel like none of us can complain because we didn't have to deal with snow and ice.
Yeah.
And that's where obviously a lot of people did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the people who left their sprinklers running overnight, speaking of irrigation, you wake up to basically an icicle land.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it looks pretty on trees.
Yeah, it does.
It does look pretty on trees, but you got to spray them, I guess, all night long, Oh,
yeah.
But, I mean, look, I actually love the change of seasons in Northeast Florida. I do. And then, we'll be complaining, about the cold, and then it'll be hot, and they'll be complaining about how hot
it'll be 100.
We'll keep going, in this vicious cycle. But, no, I like it when I don't like it when it's this cold, and I don't mind it, like, to go outside for a little bit, throw the ball to the dogs, that kind of thing. But after a while, you're like, okay, that's enough. Once your head's cold, then it's cold.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When your head gets cold, you're like, okay, it's pretty darn cold. But, whatever. Could be worse, like you said.
Yeah.
I mean, you get some ice on the roads, forget about it. You get some snow and ice on the roads.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
I mean, think about how people drive around here in the rain. You throw in some frozen rain and some snow and
some black ice on there.
Yeah,
how people drive in general, even when the sun is shining.
Yeah.
I took Keaton for a walk last week, and I was wearing long johns, and I was still cold. And I was like, okay, that's when, and it's obviously because of that wind, but I was like, that's when I I draw the line in the sand.
Although in that kind of weather, I mean, so it's still a little cold, but if you cover your feet, your hands, and your head, you can run for a long time. Like that cold air in your lungs actually feels pretty good.
Yeah, I thought about obviously all the marathoners yesterday, the half marathoners, the marathoners, the 1 milers. When they got up to start their marathon, it was probably around 20-something degrees, 28 degrees.
Yeah.
And dark.
Yeah.
So good for them.
Yeah, good for them.
Yeah, Christina did that one year, and it was freezing like this. It was, and the wind was whipping.
One of the very first years they said was or almost as cold as this year, but this year I think was the new record. Yeah, my mom and I have walked the half marathon a couple of times. Yeah. It takes a long time when you walk, not run.
Yeah, I
can imagine.
I bet it does.
It takes a few hours. All right, let's get into the Super Bowl. We have Super Bowl 60 on Sunday. Looking forward to seeing the Seahawks and the Patriots.
Yeah.
So it led me to this question: who has the better coach? And I don't know that we have the answer to it
Mhm.
yet, but we have Mike McDonald, who's obviously a guy that has done tremendously with, or has had 2 tremendous seasons with the Seahawks already. We haven't seen him really falter yet. Mike Vrabel, we saw as the head coach of the Titans, obviously. There were years that the Titans weren't great. And then now with the Patriots, his first season there, and they have a trip to the Super Bowl on the line. So I don't know that we, again, have a definitive answer, but I think you could look at Mike McDonald and say, well, I love what his defense does, right? And you look at Mike Vrabel, his defense is really good too, but he almost has that like nastiness. I almost feel like people don't even know, outside of people who cover the Seahawks, people like randomly walking down the street probably don't know who Mike McDonald is.
Yeah, no, you're probably right. They don't have a cool enough nickname yet. You know, you remember the Legion of Boom, right?
Yeah.
Or Doom or whatever they called
They're
themselves.
the dark side now.
Yeah, the dark side. I
So
don't think
they're
that's
trying
caught
to
on
push.
yet.
No, I don't think so
not
either.
nationwide. McDonald and Vrabel, I tell you one thing, a lot of things they have in common, but one is they're really good on the road. I mean, the Pats were undefeated on the road. We know McDonald's awesome on the road, especially when they come to the East Coast. He's got them focused, got them ready. I think also what's interesting, and it looks like Clint Kubiak, his OC, is going to go to the Raiders. That'll be 2 years in a row. He's got to replace his OC.
Yeah.
So that's a really smart, guy, knows what he wants, knows what he's looking for. At the end of the day, they both have a QB. You know what I mean? Like Sam has played outstanding football, especially in the playoffs. Drake hasn't, but did during the regular season. With his legs he's survived, but Drake hasn't performed as well as he's going to have to on Sunday. But they both have their QBs. They both have good defenses.
Yeah.
That's a tough choice between those two.
Yeah, I think you could definitely make an argument for each of them. I lean towards Vrabel just because I feel like the roster in New England isn't as good as the roster as a whole in Seattle. And I was reading earlier about the Seattle GM has been there for 16 years. And so he's really like made his foundation stable there. And when they made the trade, when they traded away Russell Wilson, they ended up getting Jackson Smith and Devin Witherspoon, and they really were able to use that to kind of build this team that feels like one of the more well-rounded teams in the NFL. And their defense, and New England's defense has obviously been really good too, but offensively, if you were comparing the weapons on each side, you're probably leaning towards Seattle of the playmakers that you'd want on that side of the ball. And so that to me kind of feels, you have a young quarterback, probably not all of the top tier weapons that Seattle has with the JSN and, Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker and how they've played this year. And so that kind of to me shifts it to Vrabel and what he was able to do so quickly with a young quarterback. And like I said, with what feels like not as good of a roster in my opinion. And so that leans that way to me. But then I do think you have that conversation of Sam Darnold, and we saw Sam Darnold play really well in Minnesota, but everybody was skeptical of, could he do it in the postseason? Could he do it another year with, different, when you're not throwing to Justin Jefferson? Was he going to be able to do that? And they've kind of still been able to do that. And I know they're both defensive minded coaches, so that's where you're mainly looking at. But as a whole and a leader, you're still looking at the offensive side of the ball and what they've been able to create. And kind of when you look at the confidence that Sam Darnold looks like he's had in this postseason compared to last year, and Drake May, even through not the best of games in the playoffs, does what he needs to do later in games and using his legs a lot and being able to just create things and make things happen. And so you do credit the head coaches for that, of building just the culture that we've talked about here, that Liam Cohen's built too, where you feel like it's very foundationally sound.
Yeah, I mean, look, you look at Drake May and his development this year. You look at Josh McDaniels. That's probably the best move Vrabel made, keeping Josh McDaniels or having him as his offensive coordinator. He was the coordinator for the Pats when he was a player and did some great things there, and obviously has done a really good job this year. And then McDonald, we had Geno Smith, you upgrade to Sam Darnold. Sam coming off a huge year. Can he duplicate it again? Yes, he can. He's got
Vikings
the weapons.
GM gets fired because of this.
Yeah, no doubt about it, and probably rightfully so. But he's done a great job keeping it all together, and it just shows like, whether you're defensive-minded, offensive-minded, you got to have the coordinators, right? So that goes without saying. So if I'm a defensive-minded coach, I got to have a badass offensive coordinator. That can run what I'm looking for, what I want, how he's going to do it with the talent that we have, that type of thing. So you got to have that. But at the end of the day, it's all just about how you run your team, how you discipline your team, how you motivate that team, how you prepare that team. And both guys, Vrabel and McDonald, it feels like they're very similar, very straightforward, very, matter-of-factly. There's There's no sugarcoating. There's no hiding anything. We're going to talk about it. It's going to be out in the open. I'll explain everything if I have to. I'm going to be hard on you when I have to. We're going to be tough on defense. We're going to be physical on offensive line and defensive line. I mean, this is just the way that it's going to be. And they've got the right guys with them to do that. And, they're only, obviously Vrabel with the one, but McDonald only this second year. What he's done in a short period of time is pretty dang good. I mean, 10 wins first year, and then 13 or 14, with a different QB, a better QB. You got to give him that. You got to credit Sam Darnold. You got to credit him having Clint Kubiak as his offensive coordinator to really help it click. John Schneider, the GM, he's been one of the best out there, right? I mean, grabbing those weapons, it's all come together for Seattle quietly, which is kind of interesting. You know what I mean? It's like you knew they were good. We knew they were good because we saw them here in Jacksonville.
They're in such a hard division, though.
Yeah, so everyone's good out there, felt
right.
like,
You
right?
expected the Rams and the 49ers to be successful.
Yeah.
I don't know that anyone predicted that the Seahawks would be better
on top,
than
right.
both of them. And I think that's part of it, too, is the Patriots had that quote-unquote easier schedule. They still had to play every week, right?
Yeah.
They still had to play the Bills, by the way, twice this year. But the Seahawks, I mean, they're in, A, the division, but B, their schedule was harder because they were better last year with the 10 wins. So I do think that factors in. That's why, to me, it seems like if you're looking for the intangibles, the Seattle Seahawks are more battle-tested than the Patriots are. But look what the Patriots have been through weather-wise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it was interesting because before the show, when I was looking through and I was like, I immediately said Mike McDonald because in my head I was thinking schedule. And I was like, you just felt like the schedule was more difficult because all we've heard all year was how easy the Patriots schedule. The Seahawks schedule honestly wasn't that difficult outside of their division. They played the Steelers early on, and then it was like Saints, Cardinals, a really beat up Bucks, the Texans when they were bad, the Commanders when they were bad, the Cardinals, the Titans, the Vikings, they were bad, the Falcons when they were trying to figure out a bunch of stuff, Penix wasn't playing, the Colts at the end of the season when they were bad, the Panthers, who obviously made the postseason, so they and gave the Rams a run for their money. So it wasn't as difficult as you would have thought before. Like, as I was scrolling through that, I was like, outside of their division, they kind of had a pretty easy path through it also. But I do think that when it comes to postseason wise, they were definitely battle tested to get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's interesting. At least in the postseason, Seattle's defense hasn't played like Seattle's defense. They did in the first game. Second game, obviously, a little bit different. And it's hard to judge on 2 games, but you go by who's got the hot hand right now. You look at like New England, their defense is playing really good football. They're hitting the QB, they're getting a bunch of sacks or stopped. They're shutting down the run. Seattle has not shut down the run where they were shutting down the run all season long. Doesn't mean, that's the end all say all going into the Super Bowl, but it does mean what does click. Right during the season, you take Sam Darnold, led the league in turnovers, 14 picks and 6 fumbles. Hasn't had one all postseason. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, what is it?
And then Drake Mays flipped. He barely turned the ball over during the season, and he's had
and
a
then
lot.
How's it going to be on Super Bowl Sunday? That's what makes it so exciting. Like, does it continue, or does Vrabel do something on defense that screws it all up? How?
Yeah, I'm glad we don't have a blizzard.
What's that?
I'm
a
glad
blizzard
we don't have a
game.
blizzard. As far as the game, because I do think that affected some of May and the ball security
for sure.
issues.
Yeah,
like,
it's skewed a little bit. Yeah,
I'm glad. I did read that they had a 4.3 magnitude earthquake this morning in San Francisco.
Oh, lovely.
I was like, so just when all the people get in town, that
this earthquake comes.
Yeah, exactly. The weather, by the way, this upcoming weekend, as I pulled up, it looks like it's going to be maybe a chance of rain, but a high of 60, low of 53 there in San Francisco on
That's
Sunday.
not bad.
So
that'll be fine.
I think that'll be perfectly fine, and who knows, maybe it won't rain. By the way, the way we should decide on the coach which one is better is we need the numbers of how often are they going for it on 4th down versus kicking field goals. If you do that, then you're probably
scoring points.
Right, not as good of a coach. All right, more to do. Keep it right here on the NFL. You're listening to Helmets and Heels on a Big Chief Tire Monday. You can find them online at WeKeepJacksRollin.com. It's 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Start the day with the best we have to offer.
You've got to be joking.
Really, they are top shelf talent.
They're terrific.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
Look closely, girls. This is what you want to avoid later in life.
Weekday mornings on 1010XL.
This is Helmets and Heels.
Fought for you by Green Law Group on 1010XL.
Frank Frangie here. Nimnik Chevrolet is proud to be a 7-time Chevrolet Dealer of the Year recipient, the only dealership in Northeast Florida to ever win this prestigious award, earned by treating customers with courtesy, respect, and fairness. All part of Nimnik's Treating You Right guarantee. Visit NimnikChevy.com to learn more. For 3 generations, Nimnicky's been the place customers keep coming back to. They treat you right. Where do you go? The answer is simple. Nobody but Nimnick. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Helmets and heels.
It's a Big Chief Tire Monday. The local Jacksonville shop for fair prices and service you can trust.
It's free window February with Renewal by Anderson. Right now, when you buy 4 replacement windows, you get the 5th for free. Plus, 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 1 year. This offer expires February 28th. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Florida Gators. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey ham, melted cheddar and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
If you love the Jags, if you crave the NFL, we make a show for you. It's Jaguars Today with experts and insiders. Locked down by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors. 10 to noon weekdays on 1010XL.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental. With light sedation for cleaning, then deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, located in Bartram Park.
Need or want cash? Beach's Jewelry and Pawn has cash available. Ready to buy guitars, surfboards, jewelry, firearms, tools, and especially gold. They need it all, selling or pawning. Get cash on the spot at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
Hi, this is Dave Barker with IHRS. People ask, are your solutions for thinning hair permanent? Yes, our solutions have permanent natural results and are guaranteed to work. Put our 35 years of experience helping 10,000 plus men and women to work for your thinning hair. Our trademark hair transplant procedures will give you 3 times more hair in one procedure. PRP and laser treatments are fast, easy, and effective, and only take 30 minutes. Most of our staff have experienced hair loss ourselves. Our caring and confidential team can help you look better and feel better about yourself and restoring your hair again.
For your confidential consultation, call 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Or go to hairforme.com. That's hairforme.com.
The best value for golf in Jacksonville remains Cimarron. Totally reestablished with new tee boxes, improved fairways and greens. Also a brand new restaurant with indoor and outdoor settings and live music. Join the Wild One loyalty program online at Cimarron Golf. When's the last time you played Cimarron? Cimarron Golf Club on 210, the Wild One.
Anytime you've got major plumbing problems, and even the minor ones, there's several potential causes, and they usually can't be easily detected. So don't guess at a solution. Hire Roland Reese Plumbing at plumbingjacksonville.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Tom McManus, RJ Saunders, I'm Lauren Brooks with you as we continue to chat about Super Bowl 60 that kicks off on Sunday. By the way, favorite Super Bowl food would be, is chicken wings the answer?
Probably for me.
Beer.
I love chicken wings. Or
beer.
Yeah. Chili cheese dogs. I'd like those.
Okay.
I had a dream about them the other night.
I'm a big buffalo chicken dip fan.
I like dips and like things that are easy are nice on the Super Bowl because you can, like anything, like the dips are easy or like jalapeno poppers, like things like that. I really enjoy.
Yeah. anything like meat, chicken wings, burgers, anything like that, I'm good. And then beer.
Meathead.
Ribs.
Or whatever. Yeah, ribs, maybe some chicken. Whatever. Yeah.
You are a meathead. So
I am. I'm easy. I'm really easy. Meat and potatoes. That's all I need.
All right, fourth and dumb, I feel like is a good way to describe what some NFL coaches are doing these days. And as far as instead of just kicking a field goal and taking points when they are easily within field goal range, they decide to go for it on fourth down. And we obviously saw that affect the Jaguars here when the Jaguars lost to the Bills. So Liam Cohen, obviously, at this point in time, we have no idea if he would change his mind, but we'd like to think that he would have kicked the field goal since the Jags did lose by 3 points. So we were talking about that in the last segment as far as Mike McDonald versus Mike Vrabel, which head coach is better. So you have the stats, Tom, for the Seahawks. They only went for it on fourth down how many times in the season?
12. They were 7 of 12 on fourth down during the regular season. They haven't tried it on fourth down in the postseason.
So Mike McDonald right now, that statistically wise is helping him, I would imagine.
Well, he just is more conservative, and he'll maybe, whether he's taking the points or not, he's just more conservative. New England's at 25. That's what they were at.
Went for it 25 times.
They went for it on fourth down during the regular season 25 times, so a double. And for the record, the Jags, I looked at it real quick, we were 29, so not too crazy. As far as that concerned, but compared to the Seattle, more than double, obviously, but not with New England.
Yeah, I do think that sometimes with these two teams, especially with how good their defenses are, you trust your defense to make the stop, and that probably changes it for certain teams and coaches. Some coaches just are going to go for it on fourth down. That's just who they are. But I do think that sometimes if you have faith in your defense to be able to make a stop, and that was one of the issues in Chicago is they didn't. Their defense struggled a lot, so they went for it a ton on fourth down, and you saw some teams throughout the season do that in moments where you'd feel like, just take – you hope to get that first down because you know that other team's probably going to score and you don't want to get down by even more. But then I don't think that's was the conversation here. I don't think that's the conversation, obviously, in Seattle. And so it will be interesting to see if you see them a little bit more bold, of Vrabel more bold in the postseason, or go with what works, because I do think that you are going against one of the better offenses that you've had to face, and that's something you're going to have to take into consideration.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm not against going for it on fourth down, but I am against it when you lose some momentum of your team.
Right, like the Bills went for it on fourth down multiple times in the wild card game against the Jaguars, but they got it.
Yeah,
they got it.
And that's the difference too, Tom, is you know your team, or you're supposed to know your team well enough to know your strengths and weaknesses.
Right.
And the Jaguars haven't gotten to a point yet in Liam Cohen's offense where third and short or fourth and short is really good. We talked about it with Rhino Halloran's stat last week.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, the Bills used that tush push basically, and you can't stop Josh Allen behind that line. We have Trevor doing a, RPO, he's out there in the open water, one-on-one with a defender. It's a little bit different of a play call. Again, it's one thing if, okay, but to your point, you go for it and you don't make it, but then your defense stops them. Then it doesn't damage you, but it did damage us because the Bills went down on a 92-play drive and scored a touchdown. And then you're like, no, if you would have taken the points, maybe they don't even get that drive. But the momentum does happen. Momentum's very real. We say that all the time. And when you go for it at a critical time on fourth down and you don't get it, all the momentum goes away from you. And especially if that team's any good, worth their salt, and they make you pay for it, then it's all now you're really trying to, get it back. And it's hard to get back, especially in this big of a game.
Yeah, by the way, I talked to someone over the weekend, and they said a fan that was in the stadium for the Jags game, and in the press box, the windows are closed, right? So I can't feel the difference in wind and breeze. He said right before Cam Little missed that field goal, there was like this massive gust of wind that they could feel as soon as the ball was snapped. And I'm not giving Cam Little, necessarily any grace for that. You still have to make your field goals. But
it's the weather. That's why we talk about the blizzards and the rains and the different places. I mean, the hot, when people have to come down here in the summer.
Yeah, the heat I don't think the heat really ever affects people.
Yeah, I hear people talk about it. It's hard to breathe when it's September here. And if you're not used to playing in the 95-degree humidity, it's hard. And that's why you see them with oxygen tanks on the sideline. But I saw an interesting stat when it came to, so it was by Evan Kaplan, and he works for ESPN Stats and Info, but it was about the fourth down. So the fourth down, just in the postseason, these numbers. So teams have gone for it 29 times on 4th and 1 and 4th and 2 in the postseason. They converted 10 of 13, that's 77% when a run play is called. They've converted 8 of 16, 50% when dropping back to pass. So you're seeing, obviously, it work really well on fourth downs when you run and you have a team that can run the ball. And then if you're trying to get too fancy and passing on those fourth and shorts, it hasn't worked very well at all.
Well, in their defense, they were 17 of 29, the Jags. So it's like 58%, 60%. So you're winning more times than not. It's just, look, again, you live and die by the sword, right? You go for it. You take that risk. If you get it, it's fantastic. If you don't, then you just better hope you got a defense that shuts that other offense down. Look, as far as, the gust and the miss and whatnot, that one was a chip shot. I mean, if they went for it, for the field goal. That was really close. So I don't win or no win. I think he's making that no problem.
Right.
The other one, whatever, that factors in. I mean, Trevor slips on the 4th and 2. If he doesn't slip, who knows? Maybe still running. I don't. You know what I'm saying? But that's just part of the deal.
And there's a part of me that when the game was fresh in our minds, right, the loss to the Bills, it was like, well, if the Jags had gotten that first down, right, like if the call had stood instead of them challenging Sean McDermott, who is not even the head coach of the Bills anymore, which is wild, but if the Jags ended up getting that, and if they score the touchdown, and if they go up 14-3, right, assuming then Cam Little makes that extra point, we still can't definitively say that the Jaguars were winning that game.
I agree.
That's how I felt in the moment.
Yeah.
Just if they had gotten it to 14-3. But the Bills were such a second half team all year.
Oh, yeah.
And they had a lot of confidence in a quarterback, even though he was playing with a broken foot, right?
Yeah.
Like, just because that would have been potentially the score, I still can't walk away and say, well, the Jags would have won that game.
Yeah, and that's what, I mean, we had those conversations leading up to that of, okay, the Bills were the worst first half team and the best second half team in the NFL. And so you kind of expected the game to be more shifted like that. And it wasn't. It was pretty close for the majority of the time. But they turned it up the heat a little quicker in the first half, and I think they had to. I mean, McDermott knew that if they could not get down multiple scores to the Jags, and I'm sure they felt that way. No team wants to be down, even when that's been your strength all year. So it's a what if, and you'll always talk about those couple what ifs and what changes it, but. I mean, you lost. Unfortunately, you got to learn from some of the things.
Yeah, I mean, look, even if he does make the 4th and 2, there's no guarantee they get a touchdown anyway, right? So whatever, we're beating a dead horse, but at the same time, you got to have. That's where this offseason, the defense has got to be that kind of defense that does shut down that team. Look, Josh Allen took over. I mean, he's a player that can take over. I mean, he's as big as a defensive end. He can throw it everywhere. He can run. He'll run 3. He'll run over you, whatever. He's got guys that push him from behind on short yardage. Like, I'm not saying he's unstoppable, but he just showed what it means to take over a game against our Jaguars. You got to have a better defense that doesn't allow that. He does that to a lot. I get that. But not everyone makes the playoffs. So the whole lot thing, you know what I mean? You got to do it when you're in that situation. You got to have a way to stop them or at least control them. And you're right. Even if we do get the touchdown after the 4th and 2 and go up 14-3, who's to say they just don't go right down the field and get another touchdown? It's 14-10.
Yeah,
they're
day,
back in it.
Josh Allen was so incredibly accurate, right? We talked about it.
80%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to stop a quarterback like that, but you stop a quarterback like that with pass rush and improving your secondary to be stickier, right? Like Brandon Cooks should never have allowed, or the Jags defense should never have allowed Brandon Cooks to get that open for a 30-plus yard catch.
Correct. And those close games like those, it's 5 or 3 plays that's what
could
you're
change
saying.
anything.
Like, how did that happen? How you had him all game. It was a perfect call. Lloyd's blitzing. He's hitting him as he's throwing, or just after he's throwing, he's in his face kind of deal, and you have a breakdown in coverage. Like those, that by the way, that'll separate the Super Bowl winner, right? It's just that one team. You don't muff a punt. Like, you don't muff a punt. Like, what do you mean you muffed a punt? Well, it came down funny. I don't give a crap how it came down. What are you talking about? Whatever. Gus whatever it is. Just make sure you don't muff the punt. But those kind of plays, those are the things that separate the winner from the loser in those close games.
Yeah, 100%.
So you can't have a breakdown. You just can't, especially at that time of year. And you hadn't had one in like 8-9 weeks, and that's the worst time
the moment
you can
that it
have
happens.
one. Yeah.
And that's what's going to be interesting interesting about this Super Bowl, too, because you just mentioned some of the things when it came to Sam Darnold and Drake May, and when it comes to turnovers. Sam Darnold was kind of sloppy with the ball at times during the regular season and led the league in turnovers, and then has been really safe with the ball in the postseason and hasn't. And Drake May's kind of been opposite. Drake May also completed like almost 80% of his passes for the season, and then for the postseason has like barely over 50%. So you're facing really good defenses. You're going to again this weekend. So what do those quarterbacks look like? Are they their regular season selves, or do they continue what they've done in the postseason? I think that's going to be a huge storyline for what happens on Sunday.
Well, I think for New England, they got to get their run game going. That 1-2 punch. I wonder if Henderson's going to. You always think, like, who's the X factor? You know, like, who's going to just break you out and be like, oh, man, they didn't put a helmet on him or forgot about him. And because he's got that breakaway speed, you know, but they're going to have to run the football. The Seahawks D, 49 carries for 222 yards. That's high for them. You know, even only 2 games, but that's a lot of carries. It's almost 50 carries. And, you know, they're now, does that switch on Super Bowl Sunday? You know, all of a sudden they go back to the run defense that they were all year long, which was, you know, a lot less than that at 3.7. You know what I mean? Like, those are the things you're going to have to figure out. But Drake's going to have to run. There's no doubt. Sam might have to, too. You know, it might be take the legs, and he can run. Sam's very athletic. But it's going to come down to those kind of plays because I think both defenses are going to give each offense a little trouble, at least early, you know, and then we'll see who breaks away from there.
I'll be surprised if either team has over 100 rushing yards, just because I feel like the defenses are going to say that's not how you're going to beat us because the quarterbacks are inexperienced in moments like this.
Are you including the QB runs? Because what's Drake May, 29 and a half or 37?
No, I'm not including,
You're not including the QBs.
No, I mean like true running backs. I'll be surprised if either team has over 100 yards.
Yeah, that's good call. Is that one of your prop bets?
It wasn't.
Can you make one?
I haven't checked with Vegas on how they feel about that, so I'll have to do that first.
Don't make your own. Don't have a thought.
I will not make my own. But what I do think is cool is that we don't have the storyline of a really experienced quarterback. If it was, for instance, going to be like Matt Stafford versus Drake May.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, you would have had much more experience for Stafford in the postseason and even in the Super Bowl, clearly, too. Yep. Now we have 2 guys that have never been in this moment. Positions before. And obviously, all the paparazzi and the lead up of this week, the moment that game kicks off, you know how big that moment is.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder how many I heard I forget who said it from the Jets. They always thought Sam was the guy. Like, physically, he had the arm. He had everything. We loved him as a teammate, and they gave up on him too early. I wonder how many, because he had 5. This is his 5th stop, right? How many, like, does Carolina feel that way? Do they sit there and go, dang,
sure. They're watching Baker and Sam.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like, all you know, I'm sure Minnesota does. I know Justin Jefferson, you know, feels that way.
I know their fans feel that way.
Yeah, you know.
I mean, Trevor Lawrence has only played for one team, but to me, that storyline sounds somewhat similar. Like, people being like, he's not the guy after last year.
It's taking too long.
Right. We got to give up on it. Like, sometimes, it just takes longer to develop. All right, more to do on the other side. We will talk some more Jaguars football, so keep it right here. Locked and loaded to Helmets and Heels. You can you can find Big Chief Tire online at WeKeepJacksRollin.com. You can listen to us every day.
That's right.
1010XL 92.5 FM.
Helmets and Heels.
From the Greenlaw Group Studios. Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
Gentlemen, can I have your attention, please? Because this message is for you. E.T. here on behalf of Blue Chew. And when it's all on the line, and when the moment counts, make sure that when you shoot, you don't miss. And Blue Chew tablets got you covered. Blue Chew provides access to chewable tablets that help you feel and perform at a high level, with stronger results and longer-lasting performance. With a simple, discreet process, so you don't have to worry about the nosy neighbors, because they're in everybody's business. No waiting rooms, no awkward appointments. Just fast-acting chewables delivered straight to your doorstep. And guess what? I got a special deal for our listeners. Get your first month of Blue Chew on me. Just pay $5 in shipping. Just use promo code 1010XL at checkout and cover them $5 for shipping again. That's promo code 1010XL, and your first month of Blue Chew is on me. Head over to BlueChew.com for details and safety info. Then just chew it and do it.
It's a Big Chief Tire Monday on Helmets and Heels.
When you're faced with damage in your home from water, fire, or mold, you need a team with the expertise to fix it right.
Rest-A-Pros!
A locally owned, nationally backed franchise that's here to help you when you need them. A team that does it right the first time.
Rest-A-Pros!
Remember, you don't have to use the insurance company's preferred contractors. Get it done right by a licensed professional you can trust. Call 904-201-9151 or go to restaprosneflorida.com. That's restaprosneflorida.com.
Rest-A-Pros!
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
Be the first to discover the best new home community in beautiful Green Cove Springs. Highland Trail, where the rhythm of life slows down. Enjoy green spaces, luxury pools, pickleball courts, winding trails, and more at livehighlandtrail.com. Choose from 3 premium builders, just starting in the 300s.
Oh, at Highland Trail.
Hey, it's Brent with Arcosa Crushed Concrete. If you've got concrete or asphalt rubble on your site, let me buy it from you, and I will recycle it into construction material for your future projects. Arcosa Crushed Concrete. Get paid for what you don't need.
Attention sports fans! Are you ready to take your game to the next level? Look no further than Best Bet. You can bet anywhere, but you'll definitely win here. Experience the thrill of sports like never before. With all the big games broadcasting live on our big screens and a menu stacked with your favorite foods and refreshing drinks, you're sure to find your winning ticket. Bet anywhere, win here, only at Best Bet. Visit bestbetjacks.com to learn more. That's bestbetjacks.com.
We're certainly facing interesting economic times. For me, it's comforting to know my money's in good hands with ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. Experience? Yeah, that's Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reed Wingate. They have the expertise and knowledge to take care of your money. For more info, go to itppartners.com. ITP Partners, they're my financial partners for life.
Non-compensated client testimonial may not be representative of all client experiences. No guarantee of future performance or success.
San Jose Collision in Mandarin is proud to be an I-CAR Gold Class collision repair facility. That means they meet the industry's highest training standards. Experience the difference at San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Tom McManus, Taylor Dahl, RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you on this Big Chief Tire Monday. All right, let's talk some triplets. Y'all want to talk triplets?
Yeah.
Sure.
Let's do quarterback, running back, pass catcher.
Okay.
That's in the world of triplets.
Okay.
So when it comes to the 2 teams in the Super Bowl, the Seahawks obviously have Sam Darnold, Kenneth Walker, and Jackson Smith in Jigba. And let's compare that, and then, of course, the Patriots as well, to the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Patriots with Drake May. I guess a dual running back situation there with Ramondre Stevenson and with Trevion Henderson, but you'll have to pick one, and then Stephon Diggs. And then for the Jacksonville Jaguars, I think picking which wide receiver gets a little bit trickier. With these 2, I think it's fairly simple. Those would be the guys. But for the Jags, who obviously Trevor Lawrence, obviously for now, ETN, even though he's a free agent, but we'll just look at it. If the Jags were playing in the Super Bowl, ETN would still be on the team. And then who would you take as the wide receiver? Would you take Jacoby Myers? Would you take Parker Washington? Would you take Brian Thomas Jr.? Which way would you go with that?
You got to keep the 3 together, right? The triplets. Like you can't say I take Jackson.
Right.
I take this guy over here.
That's too easy.
Stephon Diggs.
Flip them all around.
Yeah,
that could build a mighty team.
Yeah.
If we could do that.
Look, I think with.
Well, who's your wide receiver for the Jags first?
Who are they?
Who is, if you have to pick one from the Jags, wide receiver wise, which one are you taking?
I'm Today I'd take Parker Washington.
Parker would be your number
Yeah,
one?
I just
That's
think
where I am
he's-
too. I almost said Jacoby, but then I reeled myself back in just because I do think that Parker, what he was able to do, especially down the stretch, he was one of the better when it came to those yak yards. And that was something that you really wanted to see here because you just felt like you really didn't have that wide receiver. Even with BTJ last year, it was just a lot of deep shots and he's fast, so he would just go, but it wasn't like he was breaking tackles and doing all of that extra stuff consistently. And that's something we saw from Parker. And I think that's such a good thing to have in your wide receivers in this league because some of the best ones you're talking about are the guys that get those yak yards. And that's something Parker's shown. And he could play, you feel like you can put him anywhere and he's able to get something done.
Yeah, Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, which I think is also very beneficial.
Imagine a year ago me saying we're going to pick Parker Washington as the Jags' number one wide receiver.
Well,
and true
right,
number one is
right.
not what we're talking about. The triplets conversation.
Right. I mean, look, we all thought Brian Thomas was going to continue his great rookie year, without hesitation. We'd be like, oh, he's going to be unbelievable. And then you had, of course, Jacoby later or midway through the season, and he's been great. But Parker, that's the guy that loves football. You can tell. He works on his craft all the time because he's quicker. It seems like every time he's faster, he's twitchier. His hands are 99.9% great most of the time. He's a good blocker, great after the catch. I think his punt return skills show up when he's running around with that football. He's fast enough. I think he's kind of deceptively fast. You probably think he's quicker than he is fast, but I bet you he could beat a lot of guys in a full flat out race. He deserves every accolade that can be thrown at him because he really showed up this year and he became one of those guys, like Taylor said, down the stretch where Trevor really had a lot of faith in him. Lot of faith in him.
Totally agree. So as far as the best triplets, probably the Seahawks, based off of the production we've seen of JSN and Kenneth Walker. Charbonnet obviously now is out, but certainly he had a great season too. Yeah. I do feel like, though, I would take the Jags triplets over the Patriots, which is another gut punch when it comes to the Jags not playing in the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Look, Stephon Diggs had a monster year, and like you were saying about Drake May, his yards per attempt during the season was almost like 10, or 9 or something like that, at a high percentage, like 77%, just unbelievable, or 75%, whatever the case may be. Hunter Henry and Austin Hooper, a nice tandem for tight ends. I don't know if they get used enough. I think they're going to have to utilize them a little bit, but yeah, you got to go with Seattle, and that's without Charbonnet, because he was a nice 1-2 punch. Walker III is a great back. There's no doubt about that. Barner, their tight end, is definitely
his nickname has to be Barn Burner, right?
Yep.
Should it makes sense?
I mean, obviously he hurt the Jags. He caught a touchdown against
And
the
I
Jags.
think something's going to go on with Rashid Shaheed on Sunday.
See your X factor.
Some kind of that speed, and maybe it's just another kickoff return for a touchdown. I don't know, but he's going to do something big in this game. It's just going to be because he flat out outruns everybody. It's going to be interesting. So I would go with Seattle.
Seattle 1, Jags 2, Patriots 3. And obviously, we're just putting the Jags in the conversation.
Yeah.
Now let's throw this out. If Brian Thomas was more like year 1 than year 2, would you switch it?
I probably would still lean like JSN being the best of the group.
Is JSN number 1 out of all the receivers?
Of these that we're
out
talking
of all,
about?
Yeah, our team and these two teams.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think so too.
And I think he's a good gap better. Like he's a
playmaker.
Not saying that somebody can't catch up to that, because I do think that you have some young pass catchers and you could see them. You could see a Parker if he continues the trajectory that we've seen. But I just think you've seen it from JSN now, and he's just him and Puka Nacua and what they were they just look like different animals sometimes than what you see on a consistent basis.
So his rookie season, he had 628 yards. He caught 63 passes for 628 yards with 4 touchdowns. And then his second season, over 1,100 yards, 6 touchdowns. And then, of course, this season, almost 1,800 yards and 10 touchdowns.
Yeah, he beat us on that bomb. It was a beautiful throw and catch by them, unfortunately, against our defense. Yeah, he's a legit threat. Again, you hope Brian Thomas gets to be somewhere near that, or at least that, or close to that. That's what you're hoping for. So maybe, who knows? Maybe Liam, can get it going. Get him going.
That class of receivers, it's so interesting. They were so highly acclaimed, obviously, coming into the NFL. And I don't know that we've seen the production that people certainly expected with like Marvin Harrison and Roman Dunze and Brian Thomas Jr., obviously, after the second season. The first year, it was like, well, he's the best receiver of that group. And there's more that I'm forgetting, too.
Malik.
Malik
was
Neighbors,
stacked. Yeah, I remember having so many conversations about that wide receiver group and being like, we probably are going to be talking about one of the better wide receiver drafts in a long time. And it looks like it can be that way with everybody and all the different receivers that have taken off since that. I do think it's interesting when it comes to when you say Liam Cohen, can Liam Cohen get that really out of BTJ and see more of what we saw that year one? And I do think it's a possibility because even with Jackson Smith and Jigba, you said some of the stats, but Shane Waldron was the offensive coordinator there, and he called him out and was like, look, this didn't work, and he wasn't using me right, and kind of did it I don't think he was totally meaning to call him out, but it definitely came out that way. And then you go and you're able to get now what Clint Kubiak's been able to get out of him this season has been huge. And so the right person, I think, can get the best out of guys. And it's unfortunate that this year it felt like an up and down with BTJ. Obviously a really slow start with a lot of drops. You do feel like things started to level out in the second half of the season. So you just continue from there. And I do think you have a group of receivers with him and Parker, and you add Strange into that with the tight end. And I do think you have a group that can compete with the majority of the teams in the NFL at this point.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think Liam can get to him. He's shown he can get to other guys, you know, Anton.
He probably didn't know that he needed to quote unquote get to him. You know what I mean?
No,
Other than what we saw, like a little bit of a rough training camp from Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah.
But I'm sure Liam thought, well, when the lights go on, because that's what we all said pretty much too from watching him. When the lights go on, he's a totally different player.
Does he play hungry, Brian Thomas?
I think he did his rookie season.
He did. No, I know.
Yeah. This
but
season,
last year.
Yeah, this season there were
it felt
moments.
missing at times.
Yeah, it did.
And that's what I wonder how much, and we talked about this, the difference of what he was going into, the expectations of that first season. It wasn't crazy high, like, oh my gosh, you know, I think we all loved Brian Thomas Jr., but it wasn't like he's going to be wide receiver one and he's going to have X amount of yards and he's going to be that kind of missing puzzle piece in the offense. And then he was. And then this year, it was almost like everybody had him. And like, here's your top 5 wide receivers that you need to draft in your fantasy team. And BTJ was one of those. And so I don't know if expectations affected things. I don't know if Travis Hunter coming here and all of a sudden you're trying to figure out how to use this guy on both sides and then also use BTJ. And so it's a new offense. There's a lot of things. So I wonder how much of it was just like expectation wise and it being like, you know, maybe too high a little bit to start the season, and then everything kind of leveled out as the season went on.
Yeah, I worried about that Travis Hunter part of things with the psychology of you know, an emerging wide receiver one in the NFL. And so I talked to people in the building, and they said, no, Brian Thomas Jr. is so excited to have Travis Hunter here. But that's also
yeah, they're not going to tell you we hate it.
Right.
He hates
and that's
everything.
Also their perception too. Like he's exactly not going to do that. All right, we'll keep the conversation going. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on a Big Chief Tire Monday, 10 to next on 92.5 FM.
From Duval to the world,
all communication lines are clear.
Download the 1010XL apps for free on Apple and Android devices and listen wherever life takes you. From the Queen Law Group Studios,
Helmets and Heels.
When women lead, communities thrive. Hi, I'm Liz Graby from the Jacksonville Business Journal. The JBJ and PNC Bank invite you to join Women of Influence, a powerful celebration honoring the women who are driving change, breaking barriers, and shaping the future of business in Northeast Florida. Come celebrate their impact, connect with leaders from across our region, and leave inspired. Women of Influence, where leadership is recognized and influence is celebrated. For tickets and more information, visit jbjevents.com.
It's a Big Chief Tire Monday. The local Jacksonville shop for fair prices and service you can trust.
If your home doesn't have a fireplace, CSS can install a beautiful electric or gas fireplace from Heat & Glow with no major remodel required. See their showroom or cssoutdoor.com for a free estimate. CSS, you dream it, we build it.
Let's talk about the sound no homeowner wants to hear. Drip, drip, drip. Still dripping. That's exactly why Duck Duck Rooter created the Love Your Pipes promotion. Plumbing problems don't scare us. Not with years of experience and honest upfront pricing on our side. Right now, you can get free plumbing assessment on all fixtures with any paid plumbing service. It's the smart move to fix the issue now before it becomes bigger. So when you're stuck, call the Duck. 904-682-6769, duckduckrooter.com.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On February 2nd, 2014, the Seattle Seahawks defeated the Denver Broncos in Super Bowl 48. Malcolm Smith was the Super Bowl MVP.
Hey friends, Frank Frangie here. A new year is the perfect time to make sure your car is ready for the road ahead. And nothing gives you more confidence than a fresh set of tires from my friends at Big Chief Tire. I've trusted them for years. They take great care of me, and they'll take great care of you. Start 2026 with a smoother, safer ride. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 today and let Big Chief get you rolling.
You lost your swing. We got to go find it.
It's your Saturday morning swing adjustment.
Grip it and rip it.
Get the golf tips and talk to take your game to the next level. The Edwin Watts Golf Hour. Saturday mornings at 10 on 1010XL.
This is Jeff Middlecoff with Cogent Bank. My associate Ryan Salem and I joined Cogent Bank because we wanted to revolutionize the mortgage business, just like Cogent Bank has revolutionized the banking business. So Ryan Salem and I are able to leverage the power and stability of Cogent Bank to go out and find our clients the best investors, the best products, and the best rates in the entire country for your particular mortgage loan. Of course, you don't have to be a customer at Cogent Bank to take advantage of our mortgage services to buy or refinance your home. We offer jumbo loans, VA, FHA, conventional, and investment loans. At Cogent Bank, we offer mortgages nationwide, so we can help you with a second home or help a family member who lives or is moving to another state. Call Ryan Salem or myself, Jeff Middlecoff, at Cogent Bank today, 904-442-9191, to see how we can help you with any of your mortgage loan needs, whatever or wherever they may be.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, Cogent Bank, NMLS ID 402296, Ryan Salem, NMLS ID 1182429, Jeff Middlecoff, NMLS ID 249086.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Taylor Dahl, Tom McManus, RJ Saunders, I'm Lauren Brooks with you. This is Zach Top. I love Zach Top.
Yeah. Go folky.
Yeah, I would put him in the category of probably more bluegrassy than maybe a lot of other country artists these days.
Yeah, he just did. What was it? The one of the championship games. He just did the.
Yes.
Which one was it?
It was the NFC Championship,
Yeah,
I
I think
believe,
it was.
because I
He
want to say
crushed
the AFC Championship.
Oh yeah,
The national
Yeah,
anthem
he
I
was
didn't love, but I
Okay.
did like the Zach Top
He did.
one.
He did good.
Yeah,
He cut
and
his
they both
mullet,
were
because
country.
he used to have a mullet, right? Or
He
like
did, yeah.
okay. I was
Yeah,
like, he
Nate
cut his
Ratliff.
mullet off.
Yeah. Nate Ratliff was the first one.
Yes,
And
yes,
I didn't
yes,
love
yes.
his version of the national anthem, but I thought Zach Top did a pretty
I
good
watched the Springsteen movie this weekend.
How was it?
It was good. It was good. It was during his he had, I guess, really rough childhood with his dad, I guess. So it's all about that. It was kind of the album was Nebraska. I never really listened to Nebraska. It was kind of the one that nobody really seemed to listen to. But a few of his songs they're pretty cool. I actually put them on a playlist. I like Springsteen's music. I always have. But the actor did a good job. He did the guy from The Bear. We talked about him last week. He's got 3 names. But he was good. Yeah, and I guess he sang a lot of, that was him.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we rented Song Sung Blue. We're not done with it yet. With
I haven't heard of that one.
Oh, you haven't seen that one with Kate Hudson and Hugh Jackman, where they go around. They're from the Midwest. They go around as act Thunder and Lightning, but they're all Neil Diamond songs.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So anyway, true story kind of stuff.
Oh,
That's what you do when
that's
it's
my
cold
grandpa's
out.
favorite.
Rent movies and eat, basically. So
That's Neil Diamond is my grandpa's absolute favorite.
I love Neil Diamond.
Absolute favorite.
He's one of my top favorites for sure. Yeah, especially when it's chill and great love songs. Yeah, just great, good stuff. Anyway,
I'm trying to think of
highly recommended.
the last movie that I saw.
It's nice that you can sit on your couch. They just came out too. It's like,
I know that's the best.
Yeah,
You just hit a button now, and it's like just was in theaters last week, and you'll get movies now.
Outside of Christmas movies, I cannot tell you the last movie that I watched. which is sad.
It is. There's a lot of good movies out there.
Yeah, give it a try.
Yeah.
Get back into it, LB. Come on.
I
Did you
watched
guys
one.
watch the
I will
Grammys
tell you,
at all?
I watched the weirdest movie I've ever seen in my entire life. It's called Together, and it has Dave Franco and Allison Brie, I think is her name. And so I didn't know, you know me, if you listen to the show, I love like horror, suspense, thriller. Those are my favorite movies. And so I thought it was that vibe. Like, I thought it was going to be, so I'm not trying to spoil it for anybody listening that may watch it, but I thought it was going to be like a couple, the way the commercials made it seem was like a couple becomes like obsessive over each other and it turns into like a thriller and blah, blah, blah. Not that at all. It was like Greek mythology based and like sci-fi. It was at the end of the movie, me and my roommate looked at each other and we were like, what the hell did we just watch? It was so weird. I mean, she liked it. I was not a fan. It was so strange.
I mean, there's times that there's like commercials that would come on for movies, and I have to like change the channel or mute it or something. Like those scary movies, like you will
The
sit and
commercials
watch-
too much.
The commercials themselves are too much. And did we watch the Grammys? Just like the first little bit, the monologue went on too long for me, and I changed the channel.
Yeah, I did not watch it. The guys that I shared an office with were all going on and on about all the Grammys and who won and who didn't win and why and who what, where, when, why. That's not my
The
thing.
best was Post Malone and Slash, Duff McKagan, and Chad Smith, the drummer from Red Hot Chili Peppers, did War Pigs from Black Sabbath in honor of Ozzy Osbourne.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was incredible. That Post Malone is unbelievable.
Yeah, he's super talented.
I don't even know who won. I think Bad Bunny won. So I think the Bad Bunny guy won.
The Bad Bunny.
Sure, Bad Bunny. All right.
Coming to a Super Bowl near you.
There you go. Let's get it to Florida men's basketball on the other side. I brought a clip in the words of Taylor Dahl. I want y'all to hear this, and we'll discuss on the other side. So keep it right here. Helmets and Heels on a Big Chief Tire Monday. Find them online. WeKeepJacksRollin.com. They have 60 years in business, 6 locations around Jacksonville. They do a fantastic job for my family. They will do the same for yours. It's 1010X on 92.5 FM.
On and off the field, at home, on the road, practice or game day, Hayes Carline covers the Jaguars daily on the all-new 1010XL.com. 1010XL.com. Helmets and Heels.
From the Green Law Group Studios.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. When pests invade your home or your business, you don't just need them out, you need them out fast, and you need to keep them out. When pest issues arise at my house, I know Terminix will be there quickly, and I trust their technicians will eliminate all of the pests. They'll do the same for you because they care about what matters most to you and your family. So when pests show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with a pest problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule your free inspection online. That's Terminix.com.
Big Chief Tire Monday on Helmets and Heels.
Do you want to grow your career with a company that's committed to growing with you? Florida Home AC has aggressive plans to double their workforce, and they're looking for determined, resourceful people with initiative. Just log on to FloridaHomeAC.com/careers to find out more.
Balancing books and the grind of daily practice is what it takes to be a scholar athlete. Wednesdays on The Frangie Show, kept healthy by
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
and the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234.
On 1010XL.
It all begins with Speed Weeks, presented by Advent Health February 11th, and culminates with a Daytona 500 on February 15th. This week, you can win a pair of tickets to the Daytona 500. What driver won the 2025 Daytona 500? Text the driver's last name to 641-1010. What driver won the 2025 Daytona 500? Text the driver's last name answer to 641-1010 for a chance to win tickets to the Daytona 500, February 15th.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Low mortgage rates are back. Listen, Loan Pronto has fixed rate mortgages with APRs as low as 4.89%. It's the lowest in years. Hey, gang, Prosser here. Smart homeowners are taking advantage of this while they can. If you got stuck in a 6% loan, you can lower your payment big time, or you can keep your primary mortgage intact, get cash out. Equity with Loan Pronto's rapid equity loans. One homeowner just got $250,000 out of their home. They paid off all their credit cards, some car loans, and cut their monthly expense by $2,000. Call now. See what option works best for you, but don't miss this big rate drop of 2026. Ask about new home loans, VA loans, full cash out refis, or their famous rapid equity loan. You can close in less than 2 weeks. You may be able to skip your next 2 house payments altogether. Call 904-999-1508 or visit loanpronto.com. No hard credit pull. 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. APR for well-qualified buyers. Visit
NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Start the fresh new you with Local Fair Jacks, the online farmers market delivering fresh local food to your door. Start for just $7 with code FRESH1010 at localfairjacks.com.
Hey, it's Angela and Brian Wall. How many companies do you know in this day and age that actually want their potential customers to call their competition and get quotes from them?
That's what WonderWorld wants you to do. WonderWorld knows there are other window companies out there, but we also know those other guys. When compared to WonderWorld, they can't offer you the quality at the price that WonderWorld can.
And with Window World, you get the absolute best guarantee there is in the window replacement business.
If anything goes wrong with your new Window World windows, 5 years from now, 10, 15, 50, Window World and I will be there to fix it for you. You get peace of mind with Window World, and to top it off, Window World windows increase the value of your home. So look what you get with Window World. Quality windows, low price, the best guarantee in the business, energy savings, and an increase in the value of your home. A win-win for you.
Call Window World today and get your free in-home estimate, or see them online at windowworldneflorida.com.
Window World, simply the best for less. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update brought to you by Kuhn Flowers. The Gators dominated Alabama yesterday 100-77. It was an offensive explosion with big-time performances all around. Alex Conant had 25 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists. Thomas Houck had 22 points and 5 boards. Boogie Flan dropped 15 points, 8 assists, and 8 steals, while Ruben Chinyelu had 14 points, 17 rebounds, and 2 blocks. It's 52 degrees at 3 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Welcome back to Helmets and Heels on this Big Chief Tire Monday. You can find them online, WeKeepJacksRollin.com. There's a reason they have thousands of 5-star reviews, because they do a fantastic job. Speaking of fantastic, yesterday headed down to Gainesville, Brian and I did, and got to take in that game that Max just told you about as Florida beat Alabama 100-77, featuring 72 points in the paint by the Florida Gators. 72.
Wow.
But the most impressive thing to us was a guy named Ruben Chinyelu and what he did defensively. RJ, take it away.
Pylon, a lot of dribbling. Look at Chinyelu. What a clinic. He's doing it again with Rachel. What a job, Ruben Chinyelu. Wow, he is the best defender in all of college basketball.
There you have it. Ruben Chinyelu, who is a 6'10" strapping young man, who is best known for his rebounds, obviously. He was able to guard not one, but 2 Alabama guards. And it was just so impressive. And then eventually, what you heard there, Jimmy Dykes saying he's the best defender in all of college basketball, they ended up not even getting the shot off in time. And so it ended up being Florida basketball. But watching his feet, for a big man, watching his feet move to be able to cover those guards was unbelievable. And then if you haven't seen the play, or if you weren't watching live, the bench goes absolutely nuts. Like Thomas Houck is waving his towel around. They're all jumping up and down. It was my first time at Exact Tech Arena. So I've been to the O'Connell Center many a time, but I had not been since they renovated. I will say, if you are a Gator fan or if your team is coming to Gainesville, go to see not just this team, but go to see the arena in general. It is unbelievable how nice it is.
Cool.
But also the walkways, everything was smooth. There wasn't like a ton of congestion. There were no long lines at concessions, bathrooms. Like they must have, had a really good plan as far as engineering it. But obviously the game itself, Florida didn't even play its best game and had 100 points.
Yeah. How'd they handle how'd the Reptiles handle the guy that came back?
So Charles Bediako.
Yeah, Bediako.
Yeah, every single time he touched the ball, they chanted, all of them, chanted G League dropout. G League dropout.
Nice. Good.
G League dropout.
I
And
like
then
it.
what a lot of college basketball teams do, or college basketball fan bases, if a guy throws up an air ball, right, then the next time and every time that guy touches it until he scores again, they chant air ball,
Air ball.
in his head.
Nice.
And then Bediako and another Alabama player actually both fouled out towards the end of the game. And so the fans were obviously so excited to see Bediako walk off. And so what Florida does, the Rowdy Reptiles, they'll chant left, right, as the person's walking. And then the moment they have to sit down, the entire arena pretty much says, sit down.
Oh
And
my
so
gosh.
it was, G League dropout, and then he fouled out. And so that part was awesome. But look, I think as someone who watches every dribble of Florida basketball, like going to it in person is just another level. And I've been both last year, I saw the national championship team. I saw them play at the arena here against USF and Five-Star Veterans Memorial Arena. And then I saw them play Miami this year.
Right.
But it's just a more intimate venue to actually get to Exact Tech Arena and the O'Connell Center. So, and parking's so easy. Like, obviously, having gone to a ton of football games, you forget how, like, the basketball game, there's a little over, we had 10,627 people in the arena yesterday.
Well, that is intimate.
Right.
Yeah,
and
heck
so parking's easy. You walk up. Like, it was just a dream day. A little chilly, obviously, walking to and from, but we didn't have to walk
Was
far.
it chippy at all, like physical, any
It
banging?
wasn't.
And
I
nothing
think
like that?
Alabama probably was well aware that Florida has the big size advantage on them. And so I don't think they wanted any part. I don't think they could.
Because Golden made comments about the whole Bediako.
Yeah. So he was doing the Gator Talk where Sean Kelly, the voice of the Gators, is asking him questions. And so they, of course, brought up Alabama, Charles Bediako, and the fact that an Alabama donor, a big Alabama booster, granted that temporary restraining order for him to be able to play, even though he was drafted in the NBA in 2023. By the way, everyone in our section was well aware of this as well. I didn't have to explain the
I
story.
was wondering how many, you would know, like the Rowdy Reptiles would know, but I was curious how many fans just actually knew of what was going on.
At least everyone around us, because we were all just talking about, like, at one point, Bediako had a really nice dunk, and it was like, oh, that's why you were drafted in the NBA in 2023. But so Todd Golden said on that Gator Talk that we were going to, his words, we'll beat him anyways, even with him playing.
Well, good thing it went the way that it did.
Exactly, So it was a 10-point game. I didn't think the refs were great, but that's neither here nor there. It was a 10-point game at the half. Florida was up 46-36. And then I don't know the exact time, but it felt like about 5 game minutes, Alabama didn't score a point, and Florida was just flying.
That helps.
Also, Florida only turned the ball over twice. And
they had 18, didn't they, or 20, something like that?
They had a high number of turnovers. And Florida's just so dominant on the glass, like we've talked about all season.
Yeah.
It was an absolute blast.
Yeah, live's got it. I mean, that's got to be so intense.
Tom, you would have loved it.
Yeah, I love that stuff. Yeah. I mean, the TV doesn't do it justice.
Nope.
I told you I tried to watch.
Yeah.
I sit on that
Tom
couch.
turned on the Gator game.
I did. I had a nice big fat sandwich, a small Diet Coke, and then I opened one eye, and then the other eye went. I didn't last very long.
Oh, good. Nobody was sleeping. I will say
Sure.
It was, and
Live
you could
is
hear,
great.
and you could
Yeah.
hear how loud it was.
Oh, yeah.
What I love about basketball live is the angles. Like, that's what you don't really get to see on TV, right? And so lots of just different moments. I could tell a shot's going in person, obviously, well before I can watching games on the broadcast.
Just the intensity is so cool. You know,
especially when that game already had juice, right?
Yeah.
It's a top 25 opponent. But then
you add that
in
to Bediako's storyline and Golden's
Exactly.
comments, and it takes it to a whole other level.
how are they even going to let? I mean, it's so stupid they let that guy play. I mean,
It's
it's the
idiotic.
dumbest. There's no reasoning.
He's
There's
also
none.
like, it's not like we're talking
him outta here.
about like a Zion Williamson, like from Once Upon
I
a
know.
Time at Duke. Like, this guy is, no offense to him, but he's not even that good. Like, I'm surprised he was even in the G League.
But he was. You know what I mean? Like, move on. Your college days are over.
He
wants the
learned
money.
He could
I
get
get
money,
it.
right?
Yeah.
Exactly, because he's not making it the other way. But yeah, I was just seeing him live. I thought, all right, I'm going to see a guy
Right.
that's an athlete on another level, and I wasn't that impressed.
Yeah, that's why he's back in Alabama.
Yeah. That's why he was the G League
Unreal.
dropout.
That's exactly right. Yeah, I wasn't sure if the Rowdy Reptiles would change it up at all, but I was glad that they
stayed on.
Yeah, they
for
stuck
sure.
to it.
Very clever.
Yeah, heck yeah.
But yeah, if you have the chance to go, highly recommend it. And I appreciated it. By the way, so here's some of the stats from the game. Alex Condon, 25 points. Thomas Houck, 22 points. Boogie Flan, 15 points. Ruben Chinyelu, 14 points. Urban Klavjar, 11. And then, like Max said, Ruben Chinyelu, 17 boards as well. Urban Klavjar is a guy that is starting to get obviously more playing time. We kind of saw that when Florida played Miami, they needed that 3-point shooter. And he's by far the best 3-point shooter.
Okay.
So, yeah, Xavier Lee's really good defensively. He just
Yeah.
hasn't turned it on offensively. And so, Urban Klavjar, starting to play more.
Do you think, Todd Golden obviously has proven he's a really good coach. And we talked about it a few weeks ago in the sense of how down the stretch last year when injuries started happening, how he was able to just keep them rolling along. And so in this sense, I'm guessing his mindset is teams that he's facing that struggle against threes. You'll see him out there a little bit more when it comes to, how do you say it, Klavjar?
Klavjar, yeah. Urban Klavjar. Yeah, I think Todd Golden's a really smart coach. And so when Florida fans were so upset maybe too strong, but they were upset at the beginning of the year with the two guards and Boogie Flan and Xavier Lee, the transfers, expecting more of them. And of course, looking back to last year, trying to fill the shoes of those three guys.
Yep.
And so, look, Todd Golden, you just got to give him time to figure it out. I'm not saying Florida's going to win the national championship, but when they play the way they did yesterday, with that type of ferocity, they can go toe-to-toe, which they have already with Arizona and Duke and all those other teams. Yeah, they can go toe-to-toe with anyone.
Yeah, I just saw Alex Condon got SEC Player of the Week, too, because rightfully so.
Yeah, he's got such a motor. I mean, all of them do. That's what I think Todd Golden's teams are always going to have, is those guys who they're going to literally put their life on the line, or at least their body on the line, to get a loose basketball. That was the other impressive part. Like, Florida misses a shot. Those big guys are absolutely sprinting down the court. They are not at any point in time loafing, which is impressive.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't surprise me with the coach that guarantees victories. That this team plays like.
They're like, okay, we got to win this one.
But yeah, as far as the shoot, I remember they were struggling early, right? I mean, sometimes it's
you
just
got to change the game plan.
Yeah.
Don't necessarily keep shooting.
And find their stroke eventually. Hopefully it comes back around when you need it.
Yeah, also, Florida missed a bunch of free throws yesterday, too. So, again, to still get to 100 points because of how good they were in the paint was impressive. But you got to make your free throws if you want to win big games down the stretch. A couple more local basketball things. UNF put up 94 points at home on Saturday, but lost to Lipscomb 100-94. Cameron Oriole had 35 points. Kent Jackson had 32 points. Next up, UNF is at West Georgia, tipping off on Thursday at 7 p.m. And poor JU lost to Florida Gulf Coast 68-49 on Saturday. Yeah, tough shooting performance for them. They are at Queens on Thursday, tipping off at 7. You can, of course, hear that game right here on 1010 a.m. I want to go back to Gainesville and I want to go to every I want to go to every game for the rest of the season if you can't tell. All right, more to do on the other side. Keep it right here. Helmets and Heels, 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Helmets and Heels.
Backed by Green Law Group.
For the insured.
Fighting for you. There are 50 states and thousands of cities in this country, and you live in the best one.
Yeah!
We're loving it here, too.
Turn up the heat!
1010XL.
It's Cancer Prevention Month, and Ackerman Urology reminds you to stay ahead of prostate, bladder, and kidney health. Get a yearly checkup, ask about a screening, and make self-checks a habit. To make an appointment at one of 4 locations, visit AckermanUrology.com.
Hey guys, Taylor Dahl here from Helmets and Heels. With Valentine's Day just around the corner, let Peterbrook Chocolatier make your shopping experience a little bit easier this year. Locally owned and operated with quality ingredients from truffles and hand-dipped strawberries to my personal favorite, chocolate-covered popcorn. This holiday, they also have custom gift baskets perfect for your loved one. Make sure to pre-order by today at peterbrook.com. That's peterbrook.com. Peterbrook Chocolatier, celebrating 40 years of chocolate.
It's a Helmets and Heels Big Chief Tire Monday.
To get this thing unwrapped here. Duval! Fries! Cross, what in the world are you doing working on your Duval? That's right, Dan. I really identify with Duval. You live in St. John's County, knucklehead. I mean the Duval sub, the Dailies Dash Duval. Turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheeses. Lettuce, tomato, crispy and fresh, you know, like me. I'm sure there's a Dailies Dash sub that sums you up. The boss. Because, of course. Oven roasted beef, Munster cheese, roasted mushrooms, caramelized onions. It's the boss of all subs. Only available for me. That's just not true. What do you mean? I walked in the other day, screamed, "You know it!" and said, "A boss for a boss." Well, no matter who you are, there is a Dailies Dash sandwich or sub for you. Go find yours. They may even make you a boss. I'm sure they will, because it is Dailies Dash. Where more is better. And you got that right.
Catch Decision Day for college sports future stars.
Here's a list of people I've been keeping my eye on.
Next Wednesday,
National Signing Day on 1010XL is covered by
Baker Glass and Flame Broiler on 1010XL.
Be the first to discover the best new home community in beautiful Green Cove Springs. Highland Trail, where the rhythm of life slows down. Enjoy green spaces, luxury pools, pickleball courts, winding trails, and more at livehighlandtrail.com. Choose from 3 premium builders, just starting in the 300s.
Oh, at Highland Trail.
Jacksonville, you voted, and Baker Glass came out on top. The Bold City Best Awards are all about locals choosing their favorites, and you picked them for Best Auto Glass and Best Glass and Mirror Service.
I'm back with Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Zero Res Month of Love sale. Hicken here. Not only is your carpet one of the biggest investments in your home, it's also the biggest air filter in your home. If your carpet hasn't been professionally cleaned, you're breathing unhealthy levels of nasty dirt, dander, bacteria, and germs that keep recirculating again and again. Lucky for you, Zero Res is going to spread the love to you and your home. Get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $149. Book online at ZeroResJacksonville.com and say you want the 1010XL or Dan Hicken special.
Zero Res.
When persistent plumbing problems leave you feeling flushed, don't panic. Call Roland Reich. They quote all pricing in advance, so your only surprise is how quickly they'll solve your issue. Roland Reich Plumbing, PlumbingJacksonville.com.
Ready to put your dream car in drive? Get solid rates for the road ahead when you finance with First Florida Credit Union. Enjoy competitive low rates, up to 90 days of no payments, and budget-friendly protection plans. Whether you're buying a vehicle or refinancing, stop by a branch or apply online at firstflorida.org/auto loans. Membership eligibility required. Interest accrues during loan payment deferral period. Federally insured by NCUA. Visit firstflorida.org/auto loans.
Hicken here for Oceanside Cleaners, the very best in dry cleaning service. Free pickup and delivery, or use their self-service kiosk in Ponte Vedra and Southside for drop-off and pickup. Dry cleaning, laundry, bedding, and bridal gown preservation. If it's got fabric, they can clean it. Oceanside Cleaners.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focus, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Taylor to Atomic Man, it's RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you. Time now for Lauren's Lane.
Now, Lauren's Lane. Opened up by Closets by Design. Imagine your home totally organized.
I don't know what's going on in Tallahassee, but we obviously found out this morning that the Seminoles offensive coordinator Gus Malzahn decided to retire. I have no issue, obviously, with him wanting to do that. He coached for 35 years. Certainly much deserved relaxation for him in retirement. But it's very odd timing as we sit here on February 2nd, 2026. And the transfer portal guys that just signed now will be playing for a different offensive coordinator as the Seminoles are going to promote Tim Harris to offensive coordinator. He was the co-offensive coordinator and wide receivers coach last season. But I just found the timing odd considering you have a transfer quarterback in Ashton Daniels who you would expect had come to want to play for Gus Malzahn because they have a history together.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Maybe he just doesn't believe in the QB and doesn't want to go through it again. You know, I mean, maybe that's just, I mean,
there were rumors circulating a while back that Mike Norvell was interviewing other people for that job.
Yeah.
Which is why I would have thought that Malzahn would have, if he was going to retire, I would have thought that he would have retired then.
Yeah.
Well, I thought he was going to be the perfect fit for Thomas Castellanos, who's, FSU's quarterback, who played okay at times, had injury at times, but I don't think turned out to be what everyone thought he was going to be. But I thought Gus was going to be the guy that turned that whole thing into something. Maybe even though they have a relationship in the past, maybe he's like, I'm out of here. Like, this isn't going to happen. Like, it's got to be frustrating if you don't have the right players,
Yeah, maybe he and Mike Norvell philosophically disagreed in play calling wise.
35 years, right?
I feel like, the timing's weird, and it kind of honestly sucks because the kids now you're there, and I don't know the conversations behind closed doors. So who knows? Maybe Gus was having conversations with some of these kids. Like, I don't know if I'll be here, but this is what I can sell you on Florida State and what the mindset is and da-da-da. But it does feel like to me there had to have been something, and maybe if him and Norvell aren't on the same page of what the offense should look like. But it did feel all of the conversation was that Ashton Daniels came there because that it was Gus and like the relationship they had previously, and the type of offense that he runs is what Ashton, that dual threat quarterback, and that's why it was going to work. And so it is odd that the whole conversation was built around this quarterback's coming to Florida State because of Gus, and then Gus leaves, and now this quarterback's stuck there. But it sounds like Mike Norvell has said he wants to run. I heard Matt Hayes say this on XL Primetime. He wants to run the offense as similar as possible to what Gus did, and so maybe that's some of the conversations you have. But that's when you start saying, that second portal. How many kids, if that second portal was there, would jump because they're like, no, I didn't come here for this. I came here because I wanted to work with Gus Malzahn.
And to me, that would be a legit reason for leaving. You know what I mean? Like, wait a minute, I came here for him. Like, now he's leaving. I should be able
stuck.
to. Yeah, now you're stuck. Or let me back go do. Let me go wherever I want to go. Or figure.
If Charles Bediako can play,
But that I understand. You know what I mean? To me, that makes sense to me. I would get that.
But it's not a head coach, so I don't know if the NCAA would view it like that. You know what I mean?
It's your coordinator. He's trying to run your kind of offense, or vice versa.
It's interesting. Mike Norvell is going to take the play calling back.
Yeah.
I guess he thinks
it's a mess there, though.
Yeah.
I don't know how they get out of this. I think you have to fire Norvell is the only way you feel like you see any clarity happening, because right now it just feels like we went over all those numbers on Friday of their portal and their recruiting and all of these things, and they're high enough. Like, you shouldn't be losing the amount of football games you've been losing. And I get the quarterback is a big conversation, and when you had Jordan Travis, he was a really good football player, and he could use his legs, and he could do everything that you needed him to do, and you haven't been able to hit on that again.
Right.
But it shouldn't be as bad as it's been with the amount of talent you have surrounding those quarterbacks. Like, the whole conversation was this last couple seasons has been like they're going to have a good offensive line and their defensive line, so they're going to be able to run the ball. That means the quarterback won't have to do too much. Right. And that hasn't been the circumstances at all. You haven't been able to run the ball. Your line hasn't been very good. Your defense has been underwhelming. There's been pieces that have looked good, and moments last year where you felt like, oh, okay, like, obviously you beat Alabama to start, and you're like, oh, well, maybe they're right. And then things just spiraled. But
they had to prove Castellanos right. If you thought Todd Golden was saying we're going to win, Castellanos was certainly doing that. But FSU should never be 2-6 in the ACC.
No, never.
Ever.
Never. Well, look, I know the reasoning, or at least that seemed to be the reasoning last year to not fire him, was because the buyout was too big, but too bad. You just, look, if he's not the right guy, which he doesn't seem to be the right guy, you just cut ties and move on. And maybe now because of the portal you can't, right, because of all that happening, but that should have been done. And who cares if it costs you $50 million? With it paying the kid from Duke to go to Miami $10 million, buyout all that, you're worried about, you know what I mean? Like, step into the game, either step in or step out.
That's the problem right now, obviously, with college football is schools have the revenue sharing. They have to pay players. And then obviously you talk about the NIL and things associated with that. I thought it was interesting, by the way, yesterday in Gainesville. So Todd Golden and his team obviously on the floor with the bench. And then about a foot away from Todd Golden is John Sumrall sitting next to Hugh Hathcock, either the biggest donor or one of the biggest donors for Florida.
Chatting it up over there.
So I was like,
rubbing elbows, baby.
Well, that's interesting. But you have to be able to have all that in place. Yeah. And then you also have to be able to afford, if you have the wrong coach, you have to be able to pay the buyout. And that's a lot of money.
It is.
Do you see changes in that at all in the sense of the buyouts? I mean, we just saw Signetti and what they'll have to pay him, and it's almost guarantee
93,
almost
yeah.
all
I
of it,
think
guaranteed, if
I
not
think
all
it
of
was
it,
all guaranteed.
which is insane. But he just won a national championship, so it quiets that conversation down a little bit. But do you see programs starting to be like, look, we've seen this fail and fail and fail? Because we can talk about Brian Kelly, you can talk about a lot of these guys whose buyouts have been so big. Do you get away from those huge buyouts somehow?
Well, the problem is the agents that are negotiating these are not going to encourage their top candidates, these guys like Elaine Kiffin. They're not going to say, yeah, just take the lower buyout.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like the school's going to want
But
to
then
do
you
that,
don't
of
get
course.
the better job.
Yeah.
Like, do you want the better job or do you want the buyout?
But the better jobs have all the money, so they're fine with the buyout.
It's the guaranteed money. I mean, remember for years, coaches didn't get those guarantees in college, especially even the head guys. And now they're getting them, and you're not giving that back.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you would do that. Like, can you negotiate the buyout to be lower, even though I'm guaranteeing you pretty much every year? Maybe that's it. We guarantee year by year, and then we revisit. I don't know. It's going to be you're so far down the path. Like, how do you dig yourself back out the other way and figure this out? At the end of the day, it comes down to just the school's got to do it. Like, if you miss, you miss.
Well, it's
You
also
pay out the guy and on
when
to
you
the
sign
next.
them to the extension. That's the thing. This isn't
Right.
Mike Norvell's
That's right.
original contract.
Which that was not smart of them.
But
You're
they
right.
obviously thought they were getting ahead of it because Alabama was coming open and they didn't want to lose Mike Norvell to Alabama. But yeah, now looking back, obviously they would not have.
Well,
given
after
him
the
extension.
13-0 year, like, he was hot. Like, he was, you're like, yeah, and then obviously things went south the last 2 years. A lot of that has to do with the QB missing on the quarterback. I mean, DJ was terrible. I saw that firsthand. I couldn't believe he was a college quarterback. I was like, holy cow, he misses a lot of open guys. They should have never lost to Boston College that night. And then, Thomas is okay, but you got to be better than okay.
Which is on the coach. You've got to find the quarterback.
Got to
too.
find the QB. That's right.
So Gus Malzahn said, after 35 years, it's time for me to step away from coaching. I'm excited to spend more time with my family and focus on the next chapter of my life. I want to thank Coach Norvell for giving me the opportunity to coach at such a prestigious program. I will continue to follow Florida State, and I believe great things are ahead for the program under Coach Norvell's leadership and for the offense under Tim Harris.
Yeah.
The I will continue to follow Florida State was just a little funny to me.
He's like, I'll be here to support you guys. Good luck.
Yeah, I'm going to spend more time with my family, and then I'll be on the ACC, SEC network working the TV game. I love guys that do that. No, I miss my family so much, and then you see them, they're doing all these studio
They're
shows.
like college game day. And
yeah, they're all over the place.
Urban.
Yeah, oh yeah, he's one of them.
But yeah, I just feel like, I mean, if Malzahn's following a team, it's probably going to be Auburn. It's not going to be Florida State. He was only there for a year and obviously at Auburn for much longer than that. Look, when it comes to the big three, obviously you mentioned Darian Mensah going to Miami and what Mario Cristobal could do this season. And then you had Billy Napier and Cristobal were hired the same year. And so you were going to watch both of their trajectories. Well, one certainly outlasted the other. And so now Florida brings in John Summerall, and then FSU feels like it's just kind of not wandering in the wilderness, but
sucking wind.
Yeah, but
right?
It probably worse than a statement like that.
Yeah.
Feeling like everyone around you is getting better and you're getting worse. So this is obviously a make or break year for Norvell, and you would think, that if it's a break year, then they're going to find the money for the buyout.
Which makes the Malzahn, departure even more like, can't you hang in there for one more year? You know what I mean? Like, where are you going? Like, come on.
If the ship is sinking, you don't. I mean, at this point in your life,
bail.
you don't want to stay
Gus
on
is like,
that.
see you later.
It's the Titanic. He's taking the boat. He's getting off this thing.
He's throwing Rose in the water and taking over the piece of wood.
What do you think the expectations for Florida State would be this season? Like, I mean, you win 6. Are you happy at that?
Definitely not. But I mean, obviously, with a 5-7 record last year, 6 is a close,
little bit
a slight improvement. Here is FSU's schedule. So they'll start off with a win versus New Mexico State, I would imagine, and then home against SMU. SMU's got a really good team. At Alabama, because that's of course that home and home. Versus Central Arkansas, versus Virginia, at Louisville, at Miami, versus Clemson, at Boston College. That's a win for Florida State. Just
yeah, chalk it up.
At Pitt.
Not this year.
Home against NC State, and then home versus Florida. And
Mm.
Florida at this point, I cannot guarantee you that
what that
Florida's-
will look like by that time.
Florida's beating Florida State at the end of the year. But that's not an easy schedule.
I'm sorry.
Okay, 90s Florida State, they're going to smoke.
Yeah.
check
Oh,
that
yeah.
schedule,
They're going
but-
undefeated.
Yeah,
100%.
right. Yeah, they're number one
Other
in the
than
country.
maybe Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I don't know. I've thought this for a lot. Florida, Florida State, and Miami should all be 8, 9, 10 wins every single year, man. They've got all the talent in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, Florida is loaded with talent.
And
To let any of them out of
recruiting
the state.
hotbed, like that's what you talk about so much, and that's what has to be frustrating too in that sense, is because you live in the state where there's the most NFL players drafted in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
You have all of these 5 stars that come out of the state, and yeah, you have to battle Florida and Miami right now to get those guys, but you were the program winning that, a lot of those players for a while, and then now they're not recruiting terribly. It's like we went over some of that the other day. It's not like all of a sudden they can't recruit at all. The problem is they've just, what you feel, the talent that gets there doesn't feel like it's being developed properly either. And so that's what you've kind of seen. You've seen the last couple, when you talk defensively, there was a lot of players that we had talked about the last couple seasons of being like, oh, Florida State's defense should actually be pretty good. They'll be able to, get some pressures. They're secondary. And we talked so much about that, and it just felt underwhelming. So how much of that is coaches? How much of that is just not being developed properly? Right. How much of that is just recruiting the wrong players also?
Or not getting, the right guys out of the transfer portal. And
the relevance, I mean, I don't think the young kids today care. Look what we did in the 90s. They're like, so?
They're like, I wasn't born.
Yeah, I wasn't even born yet. What do I care?
I mean, they might remember, some
Dion.
of them might remember, well, I was going to say
Jameis.
In 2014, but now we're talking about 12 years ago.
Right, right.
So if the 17-year-olds don't necessarily know that.
Right, so
they're like, I heard about the crab
relevant.
legs, but that's it.
I mean, if you think about it now, where do you want to go? You want to probably go to Miami because they're the most relevant team out of the 3 right now, right? Based on what they did this
you want to
past
go where
year.
you can win, where you can be developed to play at the next level, because obviously that's the goal for a lot of these.
The
players.
NFL, and where you feel like you have the best shot to get into the next into the NFL, the league. And not saying that's everybody's goals, but a lot of the players coming into college are like, I want to get to the NFL, and where's the best place where I have the opportunity to do that? And right now, it has felt like Miami.
And you don't have to go to class anymore.
Yeah, you don't have to even go to school.
What a great gig!
No such thing as student athletes. I really feel like that is football and maybe like men's basketball only. I do think
other kids have to go to school.
I do
the
think
gymnasts have to go to school.
I'm glad you mentioned gymnastics, Tom. Did you know what my gymnastics team did on Friday night?
What'd they do?
They scored over a 198, which is very impressive, against number 6 Arkansas.
Okay.
And I'll go over this just quickly. Florida is number 1 on bars, number 2 on beam, number 4 on floor, number 13 on vault. So the vault is the one area that
get it going on the
needs
vault.
to improve.
Let's go.
But on beam on Friday night, Florida had 2 9.95s and a 9.9 on balance beam.
Wow.
Right. One of the 4-inch wide.
Yeah, no thank you.
That's an unbelievable routine. And then so this Friday night, not that y'all care, but Florida's at number 7 Missouri. That one does not start. That meet does not start until 9 p.m. So when we're all out and about on Friday, I'll have my phone on gymnastics. And then next Friday, put this on your calendars. Number 1 Oklahoma versus number 2 Florida.
Oh, man.
In Gainesville.
That's going to be. You should go to that live.
I should.
That would be
I think
fun.
it's already sold out.
I bet you that's pretty intense.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's Friday, February 13th. All right, more to do on the other side, including the golden moment. Keep it right here. Helmets and Heels on a Big Chief Tire Monday, 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Helmets and Heels, provided by Green Law Group. The action. The motion.
You see that acceleration.
Feel the active emotion of live play-by-play.
It's amazing how much energy.
On 1010XL.
Playoff football calls for the grill. The January Rancher Box from local Fair Jacks is packed with pasture-raised beef, free-range chicken, and pork. All local, all delivered. Stock up for game day at localfairjacks.com.
Hey, Tommy Mack here. When it comes to glass, you don't want average, you want flawless. And Duval Glass and Mirror has transformed homes and businesses across Jacksonville for over 35 years. Frameless showers that will wow you, mirrors cut exactly to your style, fogged or broken glass replaced, decorative tabletops, windows replaced or repaired to stand up to our Florida storms. All backed by 100% guarantee. Visit DuvalGlass.com for your free quote today. There's only one name for glass and mirror around these parts, and it's Duval.
Helmets and Heels.
It's a Big Chief Tire Monday. The local Jacksonville shop for fair prices and service you can trust.
Frank Frangie here. Bono's Pit Barbecue has been serving up legendary barbecue on the First Coast for over 75 years, and right now, Bono's has a smoking deal for you. For just $12.49, you'll get Bono's signature pulled pork sandwich, a side, and a drink. But hurry, Duval. This pig deal is for a limited time only. With 18 Bono's around town, there's always one near you. And if you want the best catering, call 904-332-RIBS. That's 904-332-7427 or online at bonosbarbecue.com. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
My son had a meniscus surgery a couple years ago. Went smooth as silk, was playing tennis in 2 weeks. This is Patrick Malarkey, and I highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
Our son Eric's a Division I collegiate baseball pitcher who is having shoulder pain. We took him to Southeast Orthopedic Specialist and are confident that he's now on the road to recovery. This is Beth Anderson, and we love the care Eric receives at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
It's free window February with Renewal by Anderson. Right now, when you buy 4 replacement windows, you get the 5th for free. Plus, 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 1 year. This offer expires February 28th. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
Hello, I'm Ed Jackson, president of Ned Jackson Income Tax. Ned Jackson Income Tax has been preparing tax returns in Jacksonville for over 80 years. Our tax preparers at Ned Jackson Income Tax have years of knowledge and experience to help you get your highest possible tax refund and are fully trained on all IRS updates, including the One Big Beautiful Bill. Visit one of Ned Jackson's 4 locations, including our downtown office at 255 North Liberty Street. That's Ned Jackson Income Tax, 356-0349.
This is the home of the Florida Gators. Get your Gators hoops on 1010XL. Brought to you by the personal injury attorneys of Farah and Farah, Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville, and Renewal by Anderson, custom windows and doors.
I'm Carl. I'm 68 years old, and I lost 40 pounds thanks to Awaken 180 weight loss. In looking at pictures, I realized that my color wasn't good. I looked bloated, constantly tired, out of breath. It got to the point where I decided it was time to pick up the phone and call Awaken 180. The combination of the diet and the coaching really pushed me over the top. My self-confidence soared. I'm walking, I'm working out. Instead of 68, I feel like I'm 28. I just had my annual physical, and my doctor looked at my blood pressure and he said, "What did you do? What happened?" And I explained that I'm on the Awaken 180 program. I've never felt so good in my life. And as somebody that sometimes likes to take the shortcut, I didn't have to do that with this program. Awaken 180 is my solution for weight loss.
Carl's solution for weight loss. My daughter Amber's solution for weight loss. Lowered blood pressure, increased confidence, feeling years younger. Not a temporary fix, a solution. Want the same results? Then choose Awaken 180 online at awaken180weightloss.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
Chatted some good stuff today as we were talking earlier in the show about the Jags roster compared to the Super Bowl rosters and, you know, which players we would like. And it kind of, I felt like we were all on the same page in the sense of we felt like when it comes to the pass catchers and the weapons, Seattle probably takes the lead in that one. But we all agree we would probably take the Jags room over New England, which is interesting because New England's in the Super Bowl, and they've been able to do it. I mean, people have kept doubting them all year and they've kept pushing along and winning games, so we will see what Sunday looks like. But I wanted to give a couple shout outs because if you know me, you know, big hockey fan. So number one, shout out to Jacksonville Icemen fans because on Saturday, unfortunately, the Icemen lost 4-1. 12.9 thousand fans at the game on Saturday.
That's
had my friends were sending me videos. They were there and they had to end up the whole one upper deck side was completely sold out. So they had to open another tier that's usually closed off because that's how many fans were there. It looked electric. It looked so much fun. If you haven't been to an Iceman game, I always tell people to get out there because they're a really good time. And as soon as I posted it, I posted the video of it and the amount of people that were just like, adding the NHL, like give us an NHL team like that. There's a lot of passionate hockey fans here. So shout out to the Iceman fans because you guys are fantastic. And the Icemen obviously do a fantastic job. But also shout out to the Stadium Series last night with the Lightning and the Bruins. They did it it was great. And everyone laughs at Florida outside hockey. Luckily, we have our winter week that we had, and it came at the perfect time for the Stadium Series. But it looked so cool. It was also meshing with Gasparilla, so they fed into that a lot. Everyone's dressed up. Baker Mayfield's there.
Gasparilla is so fun.
Yeah, it's a blast.
Totally.
But they just did the whole everything looked cool. The vibes were cool. They were leaning into that so heavily, which I thought was really cool.
And then the game
was fantastic. I mean, it was insane. The Lightning ended up winning 6-5, but they were down 5-1 heading into the second period. And I was like, oh, this does not look like it's going to go well. They obviously come back, goes into overtime. No one scores there, goes into a shootout. Lightning ends up winning with that goal in the shootout. But even the final goal, because Lightning shot first, so the Bruins got the final shot in the shootout, and it clinks the post. So that one almost goes in. And it was just goalie fights. I love the goalie fights. When the goalies drop the gloves and have to come all the way mid-ice to fight each other. It's just the build-up is so much fun. Lightning whooped them on that one. But it was just I think really cool to watch, and I think it also is, Florida in general has won a lot of Stanley Cups. The state of Florida has many Stanley Cups in recent years, so it's kind of fun to have that. I'm sure a lot of people all over the nation were watching and being like, oh, Florida does hockey right, and it's really cool to see that.
The Bruins goalie was like, I didn't know he was
a lefty.
He's like, when he started swinging, I was like, oh, no, I wasn't ready for that. And then they tap each other. That's just the best part about it. They whack each other a couple of times, and then it's over, and then they're like, all right, good job. That was a good.
That was a fun fight.
Good fight for us goalies.
I saw it was the largest comeback at an outdoor stadium, and I was like, do we need that stat? How often are these games played outdoors? It's only once or twice a year, so I don't know if that stat really applies.
Yeah, and both, because the Florida had two. They did one in Miami this year too, and that one was like 85 degrees, so that one wasn't as tropical. I mean, I guess it was more tropical feeling than winter feeling, but this one, it was great, and it was just fun to see all the Bucks the Bucks show up. I saw that if you look at some mic'd up, like Chris Godwin and Tej Johnson were watching the game, and I don't know if this is their first hockey game, or I want to say maybe Tej, because his reaction, he was like in shock the whole time watching this game. So go watch some of those clips because it's hilarious. They're like, this is intense. What's happening?
It is, yeah.
It's as intense as football.
Oh, it's
right?
wild.
And violent and all that stuff. Did you ever play hockey, Tom?
No. I mean, just skating around, but no. My friends did. I want a good skater for some reason. I don't know. I just never got into it like that. But when I got to BC, that's when I got into hockey, because their hockey team was unbelievable, even early. Like getting there in 1988, Chris Janney was like, I think he left that year. He's like a first-round draft pick, went to the Bruins, played all over the league. And then my class had a bunch. We had Marty McGinnis. We had Steve Hines. Steve Hines played for the Bruins for a long time. Just great tradition of hockey, and they were good. Boston College is still one of the better college hockey teams. So, and then I got to pal around with a couple Bruins, which was fun. Lyndon Byers, LB, God rest his soul, he was their enforcer. He took me under his wing. It was great. He was a little bit older, and he was friends with some of my older teammates, and I got to be friends with him. And he'd, take me around, introduce me to different Bruin players, and he was this big old Canadian. He would talk about his fights, like he'd show up with his face all messed up. I'd be like, LB, what happened? He'd be like, you should see the other guy, eh? I'd be like, all right, I guess you got him. I mean, it was a mess. Like, his eye would be black, his tooth would be missing.
Fights on the ice?
Oh, yeah, in the hockey. He was the enforcer, so anytime there was a fight.
Job. I was just making sure these weren't back alley.
That's why he's on the ice.
Yeah, just go fight for a living.
Just make sure this wasn't like in the back alley.
No, all in their sport. But yeah, hockey players they're tough individuals, man. Oh, yeah. They're very tough. I actually, when I first got here, this is a quick funny story. I was hanging out with the Bullets. Remember the Bullets? They were like Class A, like slap shot kind of hockey. And I started going out with them, like going out, after games and whatnot. And after a while, 'cause they were a rowdy bunch, getting in trouble. I was like, we were in winter condition. Like the first season hadn't even started yet. I finally told him, I'm like, guys, I can't hang out. coughing. He'll cut me like before I even get a chance. I got to stop hanging out with you. I wish you all the best. So, and I see him on occasion, but I couldn't live the hockey lifestyle in 1995. They were great though. They had a bench clearing brawl. I brought my brother Bob, and it was unbelievable. It felt like you were watching like Slapshot. It was just
gladiators.
Yeah, they
Modern
didn't
day
care.
Gladiators.
We're like on the glass too. We're like pointing guys out, like get him, that guy, he hit you. Like, go fly over there. Yeah, they were fun. They were fun. It was you're a different breed. You think your football players are a different breed, and they are, but hockey players are even more. When you don't care about your face getting like, you know, that's different. Like we have face masks. We cover our face. We're not afraid to use our helmet and all that, but it's different. You know, they don't, you know, I know some in hockey do now, but when they're fighting, there's no mask in the way. So it's a different breed.
Puck. You do not want to get hit by a puck. You do not want to get hit by a puck.
Yeah, in any part of your body.
No.
I wonder, do they train in like MMA or boxing?
I'm sure they do boxing. You got to, I mean, I would imagine you have to know how to throw punches.
That's what I'm guessing too.
If you're going to play hockey.
Yeah, and it's funny too seeing them because the size difference of some of them on there, and then obviously you put on skates, and the guys that are already like 6'5", 6'6" are all of a sudden 7 foot tall. But then you have tiny, like Connor Bedard's only 5'10", and he's so little, and he's not really a fighter. So usually you have your kind of, there's not like the enforcer straight up anymore, but you used to have your guys that are the fighting guys, and so you can always tell like if someone hits him into the boards too hard, he'll like look, and his friend comes over and he's like, "I've got you." But I saw an interview with Bedard talking to Wemby, and he was like, "So how old were you when you were my height?" And Wemby was like, "How tall are you?" And he's like, 5'10". And Wemby was like, "Oh, I was like 9." I was like, oh my God.
Unbelievable.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I forgot to tell y'all, Olivier Rioux, the tallest like basketball player that we've seen in college. He's 7'9", I want to say.
7'9", yeah.
He scored a bucket yesterday.
He did it?
Oh.
Yes.
I feel like that's easy.
Did his
like,
feet
just lean
leave
up.
the floor?
That's easy. No.
His feet didn't have to leave the floor at all.
No. I think he can literally dunk without
touch it. Yeah,
like
that's,
really
if he's
jumping.
7'9",
But yeah, he had one shot that missed, but then he got his own rebound and put it back in. It was like the final minute, you know, when Todd Golden put those backups in, and it was the Reno was obviously going nuts for him, and the students call him
every
Ollie.
time he walks onto the court. It just goes so it gets so crazy. I also feel like it reminds me of like Big Brother, to where like he could just like put his hand out at, like on the forehead and like keep him away and just put the basket, you know, easy.
Yeah, but watching him run is fun too, just because you know he's not exactly the fastest guy by any means. All right, Pest of the Day on the other side. Keep it right here. Helmets and Heels, 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Helmets and Heels.
Bought for you by Green Law Group on 1010XL. Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
I'm with Fresh Recycles of Jacksonville, and the fall part of the year just offers so much fun, especially when you're out and about. Tell everybody what's happening with Triumph right now.
They have got a lot of new models on the road, from Scrambler 400s. They've got the legendary Rocket motorcycle. Lots of really cool bikes to choose from.
And the price point and all the tricks that come with the Triumph bike, they're all there.
They're all there. Entry level to the greatest of the great. We've got them.
Look for them online, cyclesofjacksonville.com. Check out their Facebook page or that showroom on Atlantic near Regency.
It's a Big Chief Tire Monday on Helmets and Heels.
Hey, it's Travis from Cannons of Jacks. When you need a trailer hitch, gooseneck, or RV towing options, call us at Cannons. We've been doing it for 55 years, and customer service is our #1 priority. Visit cannonsofjacks.com. Frank Franchi here. Nimnik Chevrolet is proud to be a 7-time Chevrolet Dealer of the Year recipient, the only dealership in Northeast Florida to ever win this prestigious award, earned by treating customers with courtesy, respect, and fairness. All part of Nimnik's Treating You Right guarantee. Visit nimnikchevy.com to learn more. For 3 generations, Nimnik has been the place customers keep coming back to. They treat you right. Where do you go? The answer is simple. Nobody but Nimnik. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
I'm Frank Franzi, and I just got back from the farm at Okefenokee in Folkestone. Man, was I impressed. You have to see these handcrafted cabins. But act fast. On this 1,000-acre farm, there will only be 250 cabins. Each phase has jumped in value, so come get your lot and lock in your equity. Enjoy living in harmony with nature, going to the grocery store in your own backyard, and connecting with people grounded in food and purpose. Learn more at okefarm.com. That's okefarm.com.
I'm Clayton Bromberg, the president of Underwoods. From now until May 28th, we're holding our big diamond sale, and now's the best time to buy a quality diamond of a carat or more. Here are a few reasons. First, there's severe upward pressure on rough diamonds, with 4 price increases already this year. Most of this has yet to hit the polished market, so they're diamonds for sale at the old prices. Next, our diamond cutters asked us to house their inventories of existing big diamonds so we could sell them here prior to them being offered to the jewelry trade in Las Vegas. This allows us the ability to sell from their vast stock at brokerage prices you have to see to believe. All of these diamonds are graded for cut, color, and clarity with independent laboratory grading reports. Now, along with this vast collection of big diamonds, we put all of our own meticulously selected loose diamonds and engagement-style rings on sale at prices from 3% to 25% off. We also take trade-ins, but remember, this sale ends May 28th at Underwood San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra.
Valentine's Day is coming soon, so go ahead and pre-order your floral arrangements now from Kuhn Flowers. Hi, Flying Jacko here, and for over 75 years, Kuhn Flowers has made Valentine's Day for that special person in your life. KuhnFlowers.com.
San Jose Collision in Mandarin is proud to be an I-CAR Gold Class collision repair facility. That means they meet the industry's highest training standards. Experience the difference at San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
The First Coast Games is an annual team building challenge to introduce fun activities into the workplace and focus on your employees' health and wellness goals. These goals include some friendly competition, of course, including pickleball, cornhole, volleyball, flag football, and other team sports. The games will begin in March. Register your company and teams at fcymca.org.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's team time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Tom McManus, RJ Saunders, I'm Lauren Brooks with you as we just fly through a Monday afternoon. Super Bowl Sunday coming up this Sunday, so make your plans. I got to figure out what we're bringing to our Super Bowl party at our friend's house.
Okay.
Brian said he might smoke a whole pork butt.
Oh.
So I was like, well, I'm not going to have to do anything then at that point in time, but we'll see. It depends on the sale of said pork butt. Yeah.
That sounds delicious, though.
It does. We had roast last night, but beef.
Okay, that's delicious.
With mashed potatoes. Mm-hmm. I was in charge of the, what do you call it?
The mandolin.
What do you call that?
The mandolin.
Is that what it's called?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
We scraping off the skin? Really? I didn't know that's what it was called.
Well, that
like a
specific thing, yeah, scraper.
So the scraper.
Okay, so you're
Get
talking
the
about
potato
a peeler.
scraper.
Peeler,
Yeah,
yeah, the peeler, yeah.
So the mandolin is the fancier thing that's used to make the mashed potatoes that are scalloped.
Like scalloped potatoes.
Yeah,
it makes them like
scalloped.
super thin.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
or you
mandolin.
use
Gotcha.
a lot of times like veggies.
You're like just a scraper.
Yeah.
Because I thought the mandolin was an instrument.
Yeah, which it absolutely is. All right, time now for today's Pest of the Day is always brought to you by our friends at Terminix. You can find them online at Terminix.com. That's TERMINIX.com. They do such a fantastic job taking care of any pest issues that we have at our house, as well as Everbank Stadium, ViStar Ballpark, ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena, and all of your favorite event venues around town. Look, I don't know what led to this this Tuskegee men's basketball coach. His name is Benji Taylor, and he was let off the court in handcuffs. So I'm not sure if the pest is Benji, because what Benji says is that there were football players from the opposing team and from Morehouse, their rival, and those football players were saying some obscene things to Benji Taylor and his team. So I think Benji tried to step in to try and prevent something, but it seems like officials or the police officers decided that he might have been an issue as well. So that's why they took him off.
They arrested Benji.
They arrested the head coach of Tuskegee.
So what was he? Did he like hit somebody, or he was just yelling, or
carrying or something?
Yeah, I do not know that. I would highly doubt that part, but I don't know that part for sure. I don't know exactly what happened. I just saw footage of him getting walked off in handcuffs.
That's kind of
obviously with cameras everywhere in a basketball gymnasium, they'll be able to
find out what
happened.
happened.
Yeah, the root of it. But if he was trying to prevent something, you would hope that they would wipe the arrest off of his record.
Yeah. But that's still uncomfortable. Like that's gonna be forever. That's gonna live forever in the sense of you getting handcuffed. Karen.
But you know, it could go in
With
your
a tough
favor
guy?
too.
Yeah, they're like, all right,
We like
coach.
this coach. Get arrested in games. You don't care.
So Taylor had asked the security officer to help remove the Morehouse football players from the handshake line. But again, I don't know how it escalated
Why
from
were they
that
in
to
the
now
handshake
him.
line?
Yeah, exactly.
That don't
They
make
shouldn't
sense.
be.
They were looking for some trouble.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
Sounded like
And
they were
it's-
looking for
I
some
thought the way I read the story is he was trying to do his best to make sure that things didn't get escalated, but
Right.
yet he ended up maybe he said some things he should have said. That part I don't know.
Yeah, maybe the escalation came from both sides. That's you can understand that.
When it's
I
your
mean,
rival,
security at
it's
these
a testy
things.
environment. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you usually see
Emotional
the reactor, not the one that starts the stuff, It's
Yeah.
usually that person that is trying to stop something or just reacted to something that gets caught.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
and think
that's
about
the
it. Like basketball, like you're talking about, so intimate. Like you can hear somebody say something bad about you. Like,
Yeah.
what'd you just say? Like in football, you don't. You're just like giving them the finger or something. Like whatever, buddy. I don't care.
Yeah.
Can't hear you anyway.
I guess an
You know?
attorney is saying that he's been hired to help pursue a potential lawsuit by Benji Taylor.
Oh
So,
boy,
like I said, I don't know what was happening. I just
I
know
can't
that
wait to hear more about
love
this.
to hear that AD meeting the next morning.
Yeah.
Sorry, sir. Got my emotions got the best of me.
Yikes is all I have to
didn't
say
mean
about that. So I have some prop bets in front of me. We don't
Okay.
have time to go
Yeah.
through many, but when will the Super Bowl rematch be mentioned? Because of course we have the Seahawks and Patriots.
All right.
In the first minute.
That's what.
Welcome back to the rematch between the New England Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks.
Exactly,
Here in
yeah.
Santa Clara, California.
The best odds are the first quarter. That's what I would bet as well. All right, let's say hello to the Frangie Show.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Hayes, that game yesterday was electrifying. Alex Condon was great. Ruben Chinyelu, when he got his double-double, he does his little wave to the chef's kiss to the fans. And then Ruben's defense, as I was detailing to them earlier, was just insane.
It was unbelievable. I mean, 72 points in the paint. I've never seen that. And 25-0 points off turnovers. I mean, it was just an absolute mauling. And they're scary when they play like that. Boogie Fland eight steals that, tied the program record. I mean, just phenomenal basketball. So they're off and running, and they've got now some time to rest and self-scout, and then they get ready for a big game Saturday night in College Station. And the Aggies have to play at Alabama on Wednesday, so that's an advantage for the Gators. But Gators only looking up at Texas A&M in the standings, but they've had a kind of a soft first half of the SEC schedule. It's getting ready to get a lot harder for the Aggies, so who knows? By the end of this week, Florida may be sole possession of first place in the SEC.
Certainly a possibility. I don't like the no midweek basketball. Like, we don't have, obviously, college football anymore. We only have one more NFL game. I need midweek college basketball.
Yeah, I mean, but they need the rest. So, I mean, and everybody's got to take it. So, I get it. But Alabama, Texas A&M can maybe, hold you over.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
For sure. I'll be watching. What's
Yeah,
coming
so
up?
all that coming up on the Frangie Show. We'll talk a lot of Gators. We'll get into the Jaguars as well, and maybe take a peek at the Super Bowl. So lots of fun stuff coming up on the Frangie Show.
Are you cheering for either team?
No.
Yeah.
I honestly, if there was ever a Super Bowl that I would not watch,
It's
it
this
would
one.
be this one. I'm going to watch it because I feel compelled to watch it. But I am not remotely maybe Sunday I'll be looking forward to it. But I think Seattle's going to comfortably beat them. I don't think there'll be a lot of drama. And, I hope I'm wrong. But I'm not anticipating a magical Super Bowl Sunday. But we'll see.
Maybe the drama will come from Bad Bunny at halftime.
Quite
suppose,
possible.
yeah.
Hayes, have you seen the official release for the new poster for Scream 7?
No,
Yeah.
tell me about
so Sydney on the front
Now, let's
says
get to the good stuff. Now.
Sydney on the front, and it says "Face your past."
Wow.
Yeah.
Who do you think the
I don't
killer is
know.
going to be?
I'm brainstorming a lot of things
Yeah?
right now.
All
I
right.
just saw it and I was like, now I'm very excited.
Comes out in a
yeah,
month,
the 26th.
right?
Favorite. Yep.
Can't wait.
I know.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you, Hayes. Here's one more prop for y'all. Will Chris Collinsworth mispronounce Nick Emanwari's last name? That one's not that hard.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too bad.
Yeah.
Even worry.
I feel like he'll get that.
Yeah.
Well-
Yeah, I think that'll be a good one.
More props to come your way tomorrow. We'll certainly continue that conversation. That'll do it for us today. For Taylor Dahl, for Tom McManus, for RJ Saunders, I'm Lauren Brooks. These heels are made for talking. We will talk to you tomorrow, but don't go anywhere. The Frangie Show is next right here at 1010XL.